You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
To play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Hello! Oh, look at me, small there in the corner. How are you? There we go. How to make yourself big and keep it clean. Welcome along. Good evening, good morning, good night, good day, good afternoon, goodbye. Hello, welcome along to the channel. Thank you for joining us. It is a pleasure as always. This is LTID TV, live from Leicester Till I Die, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, and of course YouTube at LTID TV. Thank you very much. If you are a member, you are most welcome, and if you're not a member, only $1.99, you know, only $1.99, and you could be joining this bunch of lovely people. Look at that. John, told you. Ash, Sharky, Marcus, Judy, Dugout Football Channel, Kate and Nate. to meet you. Matthew, David, and LCFC Grey Forever a Fox. $1.99 and you become a member. Discount on merchandise is the main thing. Or you get little emojis and what have you. But we will be doing member only shows, so if you want me to feature your member on a show, this is the channel, just for $1.99 a month. It's cheaper than the adult channel, I tell you. How are you? This is the championship side that is Leicester Till I Die TV, but do not tell Gorinda. And if you are listening rather than watching on your favourite podcast platform,
Leicester Till I Die podcasts on the Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Anchor, and all podcast platforms.
Something is coming. Something big to this podcast.
Hello, Chris.
hello. Yep, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Podcast Addict, or YouTube Podcast now. Or if you want to listen on your smart speaker, just say, play the podcast Leicester Till I Die, and you will find us. And we are all over the social networks. As you can see there, look, there we go, every single one of them. Search LTID TV or Leicester Till I Die, and you will find us. Okay, look, what does it take to be a lunatic? Run a football club, allegedly. Don't know how true this is, and you may or may not have seen this earlier, but if you haven't, check out my show. The lunatics have taken over the asylum. I googled that just to see what it said in the dictionary, and it said, of a situation in which those in charge are incapable of handling their responsibilities and should rather be put under scrutiny themselves. Well, does that not just describe Leicester City at the moment? I think it certainly does, when the rumours I've heard is that they're going to have a look at the what went wrong last season, which is quite right, so they should. But apparently it's going to be Susan Whelan and John Rudkin that do it. I mean, to me, it's a bit like asking Philip Schofield to check out, you know, the ethics committee on ITV. You can see why. Those two, to me, are part of the problem. But look, check it out. It is Under the Pick, which is our latest shows on LTID TV on YouTube. And let me know your thoughts by adding them into the comments on that video. Look, talking of lunatics, I'm going to have to bring him in. Here we go, the biggest lunatic I know. Let's say, hello, Brad. I
mean,
agree. I agree.
yeah,
That's the
exactly. It's most sense I've spoken in years,
Yes,
some
it
would
is.
say.
Exactly. How the devil are you, sir?
I'm all right, mate. You know, I'm just living my life in my own asylum. So, yeah, I'm pretty good.
Of course, we could say somebody else who, of course, really should be in an
What? I'm
asylum.
Premier League. I am elite. I am proper elite. I am Dorinda.
God, I love a
Hear
bit.
me roar.
You know, that always makes me laugh. Wherever you say it, I am going to hear me roar. Oh, God. So, look, tonight, what we're going to look at, we're going to go through the squad and the manager, and we are going to decide what we should do with them. I tell you what we will do.
Put them in the bin. Good night, Chris. See you later. Great show. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Was that your false leg or the door that was squeaky in the background?
Both.
Let's just say a few hellos. Gray is in as a member, $1.99 a month. Remember, guys, if you want to join him. Evening, well, Tielemans is going. How about the others? I've done a count and not many are left. Exactly. Now, Chris, it is a family show. Yes, but the member one will be sort of 5 past midnight. 5 minute free view, and then you're going to have to pay for it. Nate, good evening, Chris. Been looking forward to this show. Let's hope we don't let you down. A lot of pressure there, Brad. Great. Tielemans has said goodbye, has he? I've not seen that yet. On
So long, farewell. I'll be the same. Fuck off.
there we
Sorry,
go.
I have to get the swear. Have my swear jar tally up. I'll take that one, Chris. I'm sorry, but
I'm not arguing on that one. It's just I don't mind you swearing. It was just a singing I didn't want you to do.
no, I didn't want to do the singing either. But you know, I'll commit for the cause.
Yeah, there's nothing up about Tielemans. I mean, we know he's going anyway, but there's nothing official about Tielemans yet. But yeah, look, we know he's going. Who checks out Whelan and Rudkin? That is my point exactly. That is my point. And he says, evening, Brad, as well. Iheanacho has just won Player of the Season. And I think that's probably fair, isn't it?
Play it, Chris, please.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, I know I'm like a child, but I can't help it. He's my favourite player. That's no biasness when it comes to what's coming, but still.
Do you know
It just makes me happy on the inside. I like it as a tune for him.
It is such a catchy song. Check out the Christmas version. Santa Claus. You know it, didn't you? Iheanacho has followed in the footsteps of James Maddison, Yuri, Vardy, and Ricardo, who've won the award in the past years. So he's been named Leicester City Player of the Season. In an understated awarding of the prize. Of course, they're not having a big evening, and quite right as well. They shouldn't do. Do you know who's picked up the Players' Player of the Year? Let me just say, I'll give you a clue.
Iosi Perez for not being there.
No, let me give you a clue. He probably got 50 points off his bum buddy.
Well, that doesn't narrow it down, but Madison?
No, Wout Faze's bum buddy, of course, Timothy Castagna. I thought that would be your reaction.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh yes.
How? Okay, fair enough.
You lost for work. Guys, right, let me just make it 9 minutes 38. Brad was lost for words. 3.5 years, nearly 4 years it's taken. We finally got there.
We knew the day would happen someday, mate, and that was it.
Richard's in, Big Cox. Good evening, sir. How are you? Good luck next week in the Euro final. We will.
Oh, Chris, just to let you know, it is official now on BBC Sport. This is not a goodbye, but a heartfelt farewell. Yeah, fuck off. Not bad. You're in Tielemans, yeah. Well, your heartfelt goodbye, and yeah. yeah, it could have been here's a 3-year deal just so you can sell me for some money. But okay, I guess words are just as investment. Yeah, I wonder what we're going to spend all them wise words on. Thanks. Cheers.
Yeah.
I've just seen it. It was just my little
No,
notification on the
I'm
BBC.
looking at it now, and I'm just thinking, like, I don't think they're beating a path to the doorway to sign him, are they? Yeah, I'm bidding farewell to the club, and you're ripping us off for 40 million, you wanker. Richard,
Yeah.
do you want? We'll have Danny Ings if you take Yuri Tillemans. You're welcome to him.
Mate, I saw his misses against us. You can keep him. We've already got rid of one useless player that it always hits over the bar, and I won't say anything because it might give away what I'll say about him in tonight and tomorrow's show. So yeah, he was Spanish. That's all I'll say, and I called him a donkey. So you can keep Ings.
Okay, well, look, Yuri can fuck off. We know he's going, and unfortunately, he's tainted. He's tainted goods now. Yeah, I know he scored that goal in the FA Cup. Whoopie-doo. He was doing his job. That's what we pay him to do.
Yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I'll be grateful for. I'm always going to be grateful for what he did whilst at what he achieved, helped us achieve whilst at this club. But
like
there's a reason.
Doing his job.
Yeah, okay, Roy Keane, calm down. But I know what you mean. I'm joking with that, tongue in cheek at that.
I've been called worse. Don't worry.
But that's very true. That's very true. Your ex-wife told me some of them. Sorry.
Just above Yuri Tillemans on the BBC, it says, "Quiz: How much can you remember about Leicester season?" I don't want to fucking remember anything about Leicester season. Thank you very much. Oh dear.
No,
anyway, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. So retain or whatever I've written just there. Retain or release. So we're going to go through the squad one by one, and we're going to have four. You're going to have four choices, Brandon. It's your choice. I might argue with you. It has been known, hasn't it? But we'll be looking at each of the players, and we'll be deciding: do you want to keep him or loan him out? Because if we loan a player out, technically we're
keeping them, aren't we? Yeah, we're keeping them. They're still a Leicester City player. So yeah, that's what we've. So if I say loan, I'm meaning to keep. It's the same thing, people.
Yeah, keep loan. Re-sign because say their contract has now expired or will be expiring tomorrow. Do you want to re-sign them? This is not saying that they would re-sign, but do we want to re-sign them? Do we just let them go because the contract expired and it's goodbye, thank you very much, we don't want you anymore? You're a gentleman. Or do we cash in on them? They've got a year or two left on the contracts, and we will, let's sell them and make a bit of money because we are going to need it. Apparently, according to Rob Tanner, we are going to have the biggest transfer budget in the Championship. That will be interesting,
Yeah, and like I said, I know I can understand the pessimism around fans 100%. But we've also got one of the best clubs set for the Championship. So that I think with the right person and personnel in charge, it could be a very good season for us next season. I'll say that much.
Well,
because the budget's not easy to come by in a Championship of any calibre.
I think it's 111 million we will get from the Premier League this season. Any parachute payments, which of course won't kick in until the following season anyway, because we get the 111 this year. We'll get the parachute payments for the year or two or three, however long it is after that, if we don't come back up. And of course, the chairman decides he would like to put in. But we're going to go through it bit by bit.
Yeah, and we know our wage budget's going to be more than fine because it's going to take such a major saving off a lot of these players.
Yes.
You'd imagine anyway. Obviously, we don't know until that happens. But yeah.
Unfortunately, we have the worst record of the most expensive team to be relegated.
We like records though, great. It's all right. It's all good.
That Brendan will be putting that on his CV.
Yeah, biggest most expensive club to go down. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, that's good. Here we go then.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
And what manager did you just name?
I can't remember.
Did it begin with B?
Bellend.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to say it was Brendan to keep me in there, and you didn't. Right. Which Leicester City players will we keep stroke loan, re-sign, let go, or cash in on? Let's have a look, shall we? And who is first up? Let's start with the difficult one. Mr. Dean Smith, the manager. He is going to be having words with Top. Do you keep him, or do you say, thank you very much for doing your best? And it was good. He did what he could. He 10% better win rate over the games that he had compared to the Bell End. Oh, I'm gonna play it every time.
Bellend.
Every time I say him, I've got to mention it. I've got to say that. So, do you keep him and his team? Because I think if John Terry and Craig Shakespeare don't stop, then I think it's an easy decision. Or do you say, no, we want a completely clean slate?
Okay. I'm going to cause arguments either way, I feel. Or debate, should I say. But I'd keep him. Well, now, look, we've both gone absolutely potty at lineups and formations. You had a midlife crisis at the Newcastle lineup. I had one at the West Ham one, and we got our most positive results, funny enough.
Hashtag learn from my mistake.
Yeah, and then I copied your mistake. It was like copying your own work from the week before. But credit where it's due. When you break it down, right, it's okay. When you break down the games, right, and you have to take the performances a little bit out of it from some of the players because they've been playing like that all season. You can't change that in 8 weeks. But he managed to get enough out of them to get 9 points in 8 games. Brandon was not getting more than, averaging a point a game. So he was far better than Brendan. And realistically, whether we like the way we played against these oppositions or lined up or not, did we expect to beat Man City, Chris?
No.
Did we really expect an on-form 6 out of 6 or 7 out of 7, whatever run they were on at that point, did we really expect to beat Liverpool?
No.
Especially after what happened previous with Fulham. Okay? No. So the Fulham result...
That was another question. I was in automatic no mode.
Yeah, but no, it is. It does, right? So, okay, so you kind of pass them off, don't you? You kind of go, okay, first of all, Man City was the first game we ever had, and he had about 2.5 training sessions with the team at most, right? Yeah. And one of them was the warm-up for the game, right? Yeah. So you can definitely forgive the Man City game. And if you remember that game for what it was, Chris, we actually reviewed that game, didn't we? And we both said, strangely enough, we actually had the chances to somehow rob the point off Man City.
Yes.
In that game. So it wasn't like it was all doom and gloom.
In the second half, we won the second half, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I mean, we hit the post. We forced another good save out of Edison. Like we said, we couldn't believe that somehow we actually had a bit of a chance in a way to have got some game. And I look at the performances and the parts of that in them games, and I'm thinking, what if we immediately had brought him in when we sacked Rodgers and we didn't give his clone the Aston Villa and Bournemouth home game? I reckon we could have been where Forest were, I genuinely think had he come in 2 or 3 games earlier, he would have kept us up because he'd have got something out of them performances. Yes, we had a disaster at Fulham, but we've been susceptible to that all season, no matter who's been in charge. I'm not going down that route again. Hi, Leicester. I'm not going down that old manager's route and ex-players route again. So I would keep him. I don't know what he hasn't done to warrant keeping us up. Me personally, I said 34 points could have been good. It could have been good enough to keep a team up this season. And if it wasn't for the fact that
when you said it,
yeah, I know, but at the end of the day, we were a Bournemouth goal away from 34 points, keeping a team up in the Premier League. Let's face it, facts. I don't know what else he really could have done, because it wasn't his fault that Madders twatted his penalty down the middle when he would have known that Jordan Pickford would have known that's a strong area. So if it, we win that, and I know we got relegated over 38 games, but I'm talking on Dean Smith's perspective here because I have to. I don't think he did a bad job, and I think the players, those that will be around at least next season, have enjoyed working under him. So for me, it's a keep.
I'm going to have to say, young Bradley, that I agree with you. I mean,
I'll let you off calling me Bradley because you agree with me.
I know. I mean, it depends. Obviously, should suddenly Harry Potter pop up like magic, then of things you might say, well, no, but because of where we've gone, and like I say, he's had some great. He's got a great history. Brentford, with where Thomas Frank is, he's on riding that on the back of what Dean Smith set up. Every say he got Villa up, and as I've said many times, he made Grealish a £1 billion player. It was on his watch, and Norwich didn't work out, but that's like saying, do you want to take over the Titanic 5 minutes before you see the iceberg? But I think with the options that are available, if it's the threesome, then yes, I think we would do a lot worse than get rid of him. So I would agree with you on that one, on the first one. I think Boris has a little bit too much to drink. I do know he does like to cause a stir. Alternate the manager every game between Smith, Shaky, and JT, bringing a bit of managerial competition rivalry. I'm not even going to respond to that one.
It would be funny to see, though, wouldn't it?
It would be.
One day there's one game we've got John Terry suited and booted, and Dean Smith in his tracksuit. The next,
I'd put John Terry back on the bloody pitch. I'll tell you that much.
Well, yeah.
So that's the first one. Here we go. Number 2. I think we could agree about this one. Mr. Mark Albrighton. Now, as you can see there, I have put, with the players, I have put the year when their contract expires. Now, okay, you can actually sort of say, well, actually, it's this year or whatever. I can only go off what I got off the Leicester Mercury. So, they're as reliable as anybody. They should be on this sort of thing. Mark Albrighton has got another year left. For me, all right, apparently he's not particularly lit any trees up at West Brom, but we could do a lot worse than him, and why bring somebody in this season? Let's see where we are at the end of this coming season, whether we need to sort of replace Mark Albrighton. But he's had a season in the Championship. Let's give him a chance and keep him for that last season. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm in full agreement, Chris. He's experienced. He's very, very experienced in that. He's played at that level. This is, this is the sort of play that you cherish having at the Championship because he's done it all. And he didn't pull up any trees at West Brom, but he was playing regular football, so his fitness is going to be good for it. He knows what it's all about. He's a wise head, and I think you need that in a Championship because I think we're going to get some. Well, obviously we're going to get some new players in this season. If it's a Leicester mentor, we're probably going to get youngish players in as well because it'll be we're building for a long-term future. I feel that's how we've got to do this rebuild, and I think you need that around the dressing room. And if it doesn't work out this season, I think he's a player that you have an extension on his contract just for either way, really. So yeah, for me, it's an easy one. You definitely retaining Mark Albrighton for the Championship push.
This is there's something's going to happen here. We were agreed on the first two. I mean, whether he can play, how many games is it down in there?
46.
46 games. Probably not. He probably couldn't play those all those.
No, but he could probably play 20 of them, couldn't he?
Oh yeah, no, he could.
And that's what you need him for, I think. I think that's what you need. You need him for them games where, and I'm just going to throw it out as hypothetical, say Leicester are playing Southampton and West Brom, and they're, on like a Saturday, Tuesday, and Leicester have got a 3-point lead at the top, and they're like third and fourth, and they, you know what I mean? Like a crunch game, need a bit of experience. Someone who's going to relish playing the big games, has got the experience in it. You start with an Albrighton for that game. You know what I mean? I think that's just the way you utilise him next season.
Well, this is the point, that use the players correctly for the game that you got coming up.
And he would handle them pressures. So that's what you need that wise experience for.
Yeah, and I've got to say, I'm going to do a niggle piggle here, and I'm going to jump ahead of myself, but. I think you got somebody like Jamie Vardy that's going to make. I think if he stays, and we'll come on to him, ripping the defence up, and Mark Albrighton putting those crosses in. Who knows? I think it could work. But yeah, I agree with you. Well, keep him. In fact, don't even loan him out. Just keep him.
Yeah, keep him. 100% keep him. You're going to need him in that squad.
Experienced head.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with you. When we're playing West Bromwich Albion, or we're playing Stoke, or we're playing Cardiff, Blackburn, he'll be able to say, "Oh, watch this player. We'll do that," because he's been there.
Yeah. I played these last season, lads, and these are where the week. You're going to want that in your dressing room. The new manager, even if it's Dean Smith or someone new, they're going to want that because he's like your spy, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, exactly. Good evening to Mike. Andrew says we need a right winger. He also says we need a threesome, which is a little bit worrying.
Weirdly enough, it might depend it's going to depend on who we bring in, but the squad right now, I don't think we need a right winger. I actually think we need a right midfielder. I think we need to scrap the wing formation, but that's a different topic.
Tony says, evening gents, it's still not stunk in yet. It probably won't be until you kick off, mate. I'll tell you what it will do is when we wake up and think, it's Premier League fixtures this morning. Where's Leicester?
Yeah, no, but like that, when we, saw the Championship, because that's earlier. There'll be people saying, "Oh, you've got Rotherham first game of the season." But have we? When did that happen? So we've got to remember the fixture release is early for us this year.
Exactly. Highfield's trying to become a member. Once my Google password is sorted, you're a gentleman, sir. You are a gentleman. Right, so we've agreed on 2, and Mike says you should keep Albrighton, indeed. And Scott's in. Good evening, Scott. How are you, sir? Next up, it is Mr. James Justin, if I am. No, it's Mr. Daniel Amati. God, let's quickly hide. Where's Dave? He expires, not literally, hopefully. He expires this season, tomorrow. In fact, I'm guessing 1st of June.
Yeah, the irony is, I think he'd do all right in the Championship. But, and maybe this is very bold as me, and I don't know why I have the confidence. And maybe I know what Leicester's like, and I know what capabilities and the financial advantage we're going to have as well. Kind of makes me think I'm not building a team that will do okay in the Championship. I'm thinking a team that will hopefully do us a Burnley in the Championship and set us up for Premier League football returning back in immediate. But I think he's Championship standard, Chris, and I think he'll go to a Championship team because I think we just let him go. If he's going to stay in England, it'll be in a Championship, but it won't be at Leicester. He's got to go for me. I admired the fact that he could do a standing role every so often, but we're not after standings. We want solid centre-back pairing and young competition for who I would keep and sell, and he's not one of them.
Tomorrow night when we do the show, I'll be reading out some of the things that Jordan Blackwell has said about the players when we rate the players. And I think one of the things he said about Amati that, he did last season, became a bit of a cult hero because we would have been stuck without him. But he is very much that Phil Neville sort of player, isn't he? That, he can play in 2 or 3 different... Well, he can turn up in 2 or 3 different positions, but he's not actually the master of any of them, And
jack of all trades, good at none of them. It is
exactly. excuse me, I'm going to have to agree with you again. I think Daniel Amati, we have to let him go. Which I don't know if I've still got it. Let me just have a look if I've got a very suitable. No, I haven't. I was going to play the. Oh, here we go. We'll use this one.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
There we go. Sorry, Daniel, but you've got. I was looking for my room 101 because they end up in the bin, don't they? But I'm not sure where that one has gone. Okay, so sorry, Daniel, you are our first one out of here. Next up, and this is all going alphabetically, by the way. So he is signed to 2025. He is being linked with a move away, and that's Mr. Harvey Barnes.
This is an awkward one.
He died then. Sorry.
Yeah, I know the silent. This is a difficult one. Because we all know what Barnes is capable of, and we all know that he frustrates the crap out of us. But that's because we only play him one way, and I have defended him enough on this that we play him on the left, and when we tell him just to stay on the left, which is something we didn't tell him to do, and Gray, you're not wrong, he probably will go anyway, but me personally, maybe a bit of reality checks needed for him. Maybe a year in the Championship will do him good and internally benefit us.
Can I just say, sorry, just to interrupt while you're just taking a breather, can anybody that's commenting in the chat, can you please put the player that you're talking about? Because if I miss a few, you might be saying keep somebody, but it was the previous player. So if you can put the player that we're talking about first,
Yeah.
Like Gray has here, Barnes has never been the same since the Arsenal injury. So put the name first, and we know what you're saying. Boris, I'm presuming, therefore, you're talking about but Barnes. But sorry, I just wanted to make that point. Brad, do carry on.
Yeah, see, I had it set, and I'm going to be controversial on myself here, because I had it set to sell him, cash in on him, because I thought he was like Maddison. I thought he was a 2024 sort of job, and this would be his last year, and he'd be like, no, cash in on easy. Don't even play with the dice. Don't Tillemans him. But look, I think we will sell him. But me personally, I'd keep him.
Okay.
I'd keep him because I think maybe that ego needs to be put in check a little bit, and maybe he needs to get his head out of his arse a little bit. But also maybe he needs to be trusted to do a different role and be a bit more dimensional, and not always told like the bell end, stick to the left, because sometimes it wasn't his fault he never touched the ball. And I did say that, didn't I, Chris, in some of the post matches?
Bell end.
Yeah, that he played a bad game because he was being told to stick to the byline. So I don't know. Give him the freedom, let him cut inside, let him trust his own instincts what to do. Give him more of a free role next season, which will be Madison-less. We're all assuming pretty much. I don't know. Promotion at the first attempt, he has a year left. Get 30 for him that we were thinking we were going to get if we stayed up. I'd keep him.
Yeah, so if we keep him this season, like you say, this time next season or next year, it will still have another year left. Even LCFC, Barnes would have been the same. We've just said that one. I think Barnes leaves. Who have you? Everybody alphabetically LCFC. So we're up to be with Barnes at the moment. Take the money to inconsistent. Keep, says LCFC. There's a mix. There's a mix there. Now, I mean, to me, this is going to be the first one here that I'm going to disagree with you on, mate. Because yes, I would like to keep him, but the problem we've got is how many players have we got that we can actually cash in on? And I know AC Milan apparently want And Martin, God, I don't know what they put in the pasta in Italy, but Juventus have been naughty and AC Milan are going weird. It's crazy. But yeah, I think he's got the potential. I would play him more in the middle because I think that's where he gets most of his goals, to be honest. If we had another decent left winger, we could play him. I think him and KDH in the middle together would be quite scary for the opposition. But I would have to cash in only because we haven't got that many assets that we can cash in on.
No, I understand that. It's just one I'd be willing, because he's got an extra year than I thought he'd on his contract. I'd be willing to just, try and benefit him to benefit the club sort of situation. Which is only, it's my logic mind, but I do understand why people would say cash in, and I think both would benefit Leicester. It's either we're cashing in, we've got more money to spend on filling the squad out, or he goes and lights the Championship on fire, and we actually get a bit more than he's probably worth for him. You never know. So either option works for me.
Yeah. We have got Pastor Martin. There's no sign of Dave yet, so we're safe, mate. We're safe. Yeah, no, but like I say, you're the one that's deciding. I'm just playing devil's advocate. But yes, he goes into the keep column. Do you know who's up next?
A, B, C. Can't think of any. No, I forgot. My brain can't do basic English.
Mr. Bertrand.
Bye. Release. See you later.
Yes.
I'll keep it short and sweet for once, mate. He spent more time in the hospital than he did at the training ground.
I can't argue with you. I mean, I'm sorry. When we signed him, I thought for that one warm-up game, he looked really good, and he did actually put a LCFC's just gone, who? It's very true. Yeah, he looked very good in that warm-up game, but the Southampton fans were saying to us, thank you. I mean, you've given us money for somebody who's a hospital case.
Look, we don't need a sick note on whatever 80 grand a week. We don't need a sick note in the Championship. We've got far too many players. Even if I'm gonna sell or not a few of them, we've got far too many options in that position that he's going to be behind anyway. So send the sick note home. Yeah,
because of course we all know that he was actually purchased by Bellend.
Yeah, very true. And
how many times I get that in the show?
Yeah, I know. I said send him home, but he might, knowing him, he'd get injured on the way home.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Let's have a look. Even Pierre didn't get that injured, says Blue Fox. Right. Who have we got next? Here we go. Mr. Castagna. Runs out 2025.
Cashing on him.
Yeah, I'm not going to be. I'm not one of these like. All right, the Tielemans has been confirmed, but look, guys, we're going to be going through so many rumours. It's that tight. It's a silly season. January window, summer window, which isn't open yet, but once the season finishes, it starts. And every player that's available is going to be linked with us because we are one of the richer clubs that's gone, that's in that division. And every one of our players, as always, is going to be linked with going away. It's just probably true this season. So I'm not going to say, link every player, and I won't be doing a show for every rumour. But I have seen, and I can't remember who it is, I have seen apparently that one or two clubs are interested in him. But yeah, no, and you're saying cash in.
Yeah, I'd cash in with him. I've not been his biggest fan this season. I think he's been very disappointing. I don't know what it's maybe Wout Faizeway is his favourite aftershave, and that's why he's always so close to him. I don't know, but he could never stay on the right back. He couldn't stay there, and it's annoying because when he did, he was really good for us. He was a good player, but no, I'm sorry, I'm selling him. Talk about not having too many, profitable players to sort of sell there. I'm selling him.
I have to say, yet another one we agree on. I feel ill. We're agreeing too much.
I know. It's going to get worse as the show goes on, mate. I've got this horrible feeling.
It started about a month ago when we have started actually agreeing on stuff, and I'm really, really getting worried now. And everybody is actually saying, Sell has to go, own goals. Yeah, we all, yeah. I mean, he does score, obviously, the odd goal, but, you can't keep him for that. He, like you say, he just doesn't know his position. He's right back, not right back up Faze's arse, which he seems to be all the time. Right, this next one is going to, if you do as well. I thought that we wouldn't have a choice because he's out on loan, and I thought it was a loan with an option to buy. But I also then thought that it expired this year, but apparently he's got another year left on his contract. Soyuncu's leaving, so FaZe would have nobody else to fight him for the hairdryer. So let's bring Hamster back in. He is the sort of, again, he's had a season in the Championship. Not sure how well he's done. I've not heard any particularly bad reports about him, but he would be, for me, would be that midfield enforcer.
Yeah, for certain, and get ready to play it. Bellend hasn't scared him off from.
Here we go. Every time we say it,
Bellend.
Told you to get ready to play it. But I hope he's not scared him away from wanting to not play for the club and go, because he could be valuable for this season. And he might be one of them players that I'm not too bothered if he stayed for this season, played, and we didn't renew his contract if he got promoted. Kind of be like Lloyd Dyer in a way. In that way that happened, I wouldn't be too bothered about it. I know he's one of our own and all that, but I'd be really tempted to keep him around for this season. I think he could be pivotal, not just because he went on loan at Watford, but with the right manager, we might find that flair and passion again, and burning desire to do it in a Leicester shirt. You don't know then what he could have on our hands.
There's players like Chowdhury, maybe a few others whose contracts are up, and all Brighton, that will look and go, look, if Rodgers had still been there, I wouldn't have come back. I wouldn't have touched your club again with the barge pole. But now he's gone, I'd love to come back and give it another go, because, like you say, I wasn't Chowdhury's biggest fan, but we know there was a decent enough player in there. Maybe not a Premier League player, but certainly a good Championship player. And like I say, yes, I had a red card in him, but we miss that. I mean, can you imagine him and Sumari together in that midfield? We need enforcers. Those two, to me, would be total enforcers.
Yeah, it would be, and that's why I reckon, the right manager, maybe keeping Mr. Smith and the way he seems to have got people back on board and feeling better about it, give him a chance. Because if he plays every game for 6 months, he might get to January and go, you know what, we're in the playoffs area or better. We're probably going to go, I like playing for this manager. I'm playing every weekend. I'll sign a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal. You never know. I'd rather chance keeping him and know it's nothing ventured, nothing gained if he doesn't turn up and doesn't live up to it, because we'll be bringing in players that will play if he doesn't want to, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like I say, Andrew says there, he'll always give his all, but always one tackle away from a red card.
Yeah, but there's no VAR next season. He'll get away with it.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. You've been reading my bloody script again, haven't you?
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, but that's the point, is that how many times did we say it? And I used to call them that Leicester last season were the powder puff team. If somebody ran past them and farted, they'd fall over. Because they had no fight, no passion. Madison, show pony.
Oh yeah,
show pony.
I'll ask you this much, Andrew, to give you a perfect example of when it would have been pivotal, right? Crystal Palace, right? They scored in the 94th minute. Now, I know Palace, we made them look like Brazil, and it was a shock that it was 1-1 for as long as it was. But I will give you a scenario, Andrew. You put him on, he goes in hard, he crunches the player, and Crystal Palace get a free kick and don't go forward and score that goal. Yeah, maybe he comes on, does a mercenary sort of job, and he does get a yellow card, or worse, he gets sent off. But if he stops that player going through and scoring a goal, and then that set piece comes to nothing, and the referee blows his whistle.
Yeah.
All right, fine. We missed him for 3 games, but he saved us. He saved us 2 points. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No. I say you're talking to the converted with me, because look at that game. I know we keep coming back to it. The Liverpool game, the game where Brendan blew so much smoke in his arse it was coming out of his nose. And then we never saw him again. He never got a yellow card in that game, and he was actually playing as a defender. That, to me, that is what we need. Like you say, you're holding on for a draw, or you're 1 goal up, you're holding on for the win. Stick him on with maybe 15 minutes to go, and if he gets a yellow card, the chance of him getting 2 yellows in 15, you would hope, wouldn't be that good. Stick him on for 15 minutes. Let people know. Do you want to come on then? Have a go if you think you are.
If he's clattering into somebody on the halfway line and he's picking up a booking or a little bit of a challenge on someone, but he gets away with it, I'd much rather them try and float a ball into the box and run through the middle of the team.
Yes, yeah. So and like I say, I said this. We'll come on to Tamari later, obviously, as we go through the alphabet. But I said Tamari is a yellow card waiting to happen. But then again, I'm thinking, but I'm complaining that there's nobody out there that's putting a tackle in. So great, Samari, go there, get a yellow card. If it's looking like you might get another one, hopefully a decent manager will have the brains to bring you off and maybe swap you with Chowdhury. So definitely 100% agree with you. Couldn't agree with you more. As well as like Albrighton, bring him back and get him in this team. Because I tell you something, the clubs as well, the teams that are in the Championship, they don't play fixie fancy football. What am I saying? But they don't play, the tippy-tappy fancy football they play in the Premier League. They stick the boot in. And at the moment, we've got players that after 5 minutes will be running and hiding behind Everson. And you go, no, come near me. So, I agree with you. 110 million, 1,000%. So that's a yes. I agree with you. Right, this one's going to be it's the only one we've disagreed on. God, I'm getting a headache. Here we go. Mr. Daka. Daka do. Daka do or Daka don't? What do we do?
I think you've got to keep him. You've got to keep him. This could be the season that he really shines for Leicester. Because I think you play 2 up front. Don't say it too loud though, Chris. But I think you play it 2 up front next season. And yes, the Championship's going to be hard hitting. Yes, he needs to make sure he's eating his shredders and his Weetabixes. As it says, you get told you need to eat, that's what I always got told when I had an energetic day and I was on my feet all day. I get told, you must have your Weetabix, Brad. So yeah, if he does that and bulks up a bit for the Championship, his pace is going to be scary to some defenders.
Yes, 100%. I agree.
I think that could be the season where he gets all his confidence back. I'm not saying he's going to score 20, 25 plus goals or something like that in the Championship. I still think it might be 15 goals or something, but I'd keep him around because personally I'm playing 2 up front. I thought about the loan option, but I want him around because as much as I love a certain Vardy, and I've got a funny feeling because doing this alphabetically, he might be the last one, right? Unless you're going to remind me of a player.
No, he's not. His last. But
no. Oh yeah, be last but one because no, Jestergaard. It's J for Jestergaard, not V.
Don't forget it.
But yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. If we're going to play, because I personally, I'd have us playing 2 up front in the Championship. I think 1 up front's no good in that division. I think you need to be spear front, and I'd keep him. Yes. I wouldn't loan him out.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I again, I can't help it, but I agree. I don't think he would go out on loan. He will look at that and say, look, 2 years ago, I was winning a Premier League
Yeah.
medal.
And we've got, and again, this is what people need to remember, and this is why I'm going to hate every bit of lazy journalism from now until the transfer window opens and shuts. Right? We don't need to sell him. Look at his contract length. We don't need to sell him. So unless he's going to do a flop Farner, or as people know him on this channel by my definition as the French Voldemort, we don't need to sell him either.
No. I think you need his speed, and he's not. I mean, again, he's got some thighs on him. He's not weak by any chance. So he won't be. He does go over very easily, I must admit. But if that can be sort of got out of him, he has got the pace, and I think he could, because we'll come on to obviously, Mr. Vardy, maybe second from last, but clues there. But I think he will terrorise the defences, and Vardy is not going to be able to play. What did we say? 46 games? Did we say, or what?
No, he's not. He's just not. I mean, he hasn't been able to do it this season for obvious reasons, so he's not going to do it next season.
So Daka do for me. Anthony's in. Welcome along, Anthony. How are you? I think LCFC agrees with you. Chris, I do like your short when Scott Parker came, Dave. Yes. And as Anthony says, Brad, what do you call your manhood? Yes, that's another show. Daka to Loven? No, I think we need to keep Daka.
Going there would do nothing for him.
Yeah.
He's played in a division of that sort of caliber.
I think Blue Fox is related to Apuku because he keeps he's mentioned it. If he had £1 for every time he's mentioned him in this chat, he'd be able to retire. But apparently he's the new Vardy, he says. But yeah, it is. I mean, it says last season. Anyway. We'll come on to Vardy obviously when we get to the V's. Yes, he has definitely gone, and good riddance to him. I might have put him on here, but we can ignore him when we get to him. So, Mr. Dewsbury Hall.
That's simple, and keep him. He's young, he's hungry, he's already got the experience. He probably easily, I don't know if his age surpasses it now. I think it might do, but I know he's easily hands down won our young player of the year before, and
yeah,
he would have been up there today. I don't know if he's 24, which means he's past that age bracket to get that award. I don't know, but I'd have given it him if it was that. Yeah, you keep him. This is an easy one. It's so obvious. He's 2027. He's a Leicester lad, so he won't want to go anywhere. He'll be up for the fight. Unlike a certain scumbaggy, what was his name? I can't even say his name. Tossbag third. Went to West Brom after saying he'd stay and help us get out of League One. Alan Sheehan, shithead, something like that.
Alan Sheehan.
Yeah, shithead. I said his name right then. Yeah, him. He's not going to do a him. He'll stay. That Kieran Dewsbury will fight for this club. Thank you very much. Next, please.
Luton are wanting him though.
They can want him all they like. He's a Leicester boy through and through. He's not going to do an Alan shithead. Thank you. Next one.
I think he will stay this season and see where we are.
Yeah, if we don't go up, then fine. I'd be happy for him to move on to better things because he's gonna deserve that. But he's gonna have a good season. I've got a feeling he's gonna have a really good season. He's gonna have a coming of age season in the Championship.
I'm just seeing if I can see how old he is.
Yeah, because he wasn't as young as people thought he was when he made his debut. Everybody thought he was like 18, 19, but it turned out
he's 24.
Yeah, it turned out he was 22, 23 when he signed for us. So
yes, yeah.
But I think that's representing his shirt number, isn't it?
Yes. I don't know.
Anyway.
Yes, I don't know. Dewsbury Hall keep. I agree with you, sir. I agree with you totally. Next up. Oh. Now then. Good heavens. What do we do? What are you going to do with a man like Johnny?
You know what? Until I saw that the old man still had it, with his performance at Newcastle and his performance against West Ham, I was all for releasing him, saying thanks very much. But do you treat him like Wes Morgan? Do you keep him in there because you know he's got a wise head on him? You know he's probably got a captaincy of a dressing room in terms of youngsters respect him, they go for him for advice. Do I see him staying? No. He didn't do it with West Brom. Why would he do it with us? I don't know. I think he'd take his chances that some mid-table Premier League side would take him, and he'd still be able to play in the Premier League. But me personally, seeing that the old dog still got it, sort of thing. Like I said, Chris, you can't say he didn't surprise everybody with how well and committed he seemed to play once he was able to. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. You might have to put him out on a Zimmer frame when he is able to play. But taking on your newly promoted, taking on your lower tier championship squads, Christmas period, you want to rest your starting defenders. I could think of worse options to keep around, and it saves us going out and having to buy it this season. I'd give him a 1 year extension. I'd renew it.
You'd renew it, re-sign. Okay. I'd say 2 words to you, Brad, and the second one isn't off. Don't worry.
I was going to say it's the first one ever.
Robert Huth. You know, the difference he made when he came into the defence in that Great Escape year. Look, Johnny Evans is old. We know that. Johnny Evans' ankles are probably shot. Are you going to get, again, like Vardy, are you going to get 48 seasons, 46, whatever it is, games out of him? No, you're not. What we need this season is a mix, because we've got, as we've said, we're not looking at them today, but we've got a lot of good youngsters coming through. Baybrook, Alves, there's a couple of really good players that may well have broken through this season had it hadn't been for the injuries. But what you've got to say is that you need the old heads. We can't just get rid of all the young heads, can we? It's like we say about England. It's like, get rid of bring the youngsters through. It's about doing, and this is what Germany do very well with their international squad. They introduce 1 or 2 or 3 at a time, and then let 1 or 2 or 3 of the older ones out, and then bring some the next year. Yeah, and that's what we've got to do. There's no point bringing in all the youngsters if suddenly there's no experience there to help them. Johnny Evans has got that experience. If you are holding on with 10 minutes to go, Blackburn Rovers are absolutely battering you at Ewood Park, and you
want to put on a third centre back.
Yeah, or even replace one of the centre backs. Well, Sutar's got the experience, but let's say Faze, and you put him on Johnny Evans, and it's like, come on, guys, he's got that experience. It's like, no, we can just take it there. Let's not panic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so, totally. Again, for God's sake, I'm agreeing with you again. Evans, we keep. Yes, well, we re-sign. We don't just keep. We re-sign him, maybe just for a year. But he has got that experience. So Johnny Evans, indeed. Let's just have a look what people are saying. That there's kind of the 50-50. Anthony, if you want to watch the LTID TV relaunch show, you'll find out exactly what's happening with both channels. Josh says sign in for another year. I don't know who we're going for. Yeah, like I say, guys, if you don't put your player on, because we're talking about 2 or 3 players at a time, please put the player that you're talking about in the chat as well. Josh, I'd be happy to take Evans, Faze and Brunt for our centre halves for the next year. I've forgotten Brunt, indeed. Let's bring his half from Watford. Well, yeah, another show. We might have another show about who we could bring in. Maybe we could. That's an idea, Brad. Maybe do a show of a team of new signings.
Oh God! Oof.
That
means I've got to do research then, doesn't it? You might have to get someone else on an expertise. Someone who, oh God, oof.
We found his weak spot, guys. Right, okay. That's Johnny Evans. We're not getting rid of many here. Now, this guy has been told to leave the club because of the we've been relegated. Now, I've got to say, I don't know if it's anything to do with Castagna always being up his arse or not. I don't know. But that phase, for me, doesn't go anywhere.
No, you don't. We picked him up as a last-minute signing. He's been here one season.
Mm-hmm.
He's got lots of room to improve. He's literally a player that, unless he says, I don't want to play in the Championship, you keep him. So, yeah, that's an easy one, Chris. He's not been in... Yeah, he's not been here 5 minutes, and he's not done anything to suggest he shouldn't. And realistically, you know, unless the player wants to leave, there's no point in selling one for the sake of selling someone just to rebuild. You got to just keep him. 2027, he's reliable, fair enough. He might score an own goal or two if you play in Liverpool, so thankfully won't be playing there next season. But yeah, you know, keep him.
Yes, yeah. You cannot. I've got to say this. Whenever we judge any of the signings that we've made this year, don't judge them because it's been the worst season. If you could be an average player, that I could go into Manchester City and I could look good because I'm surrounded by world class players in a team that's doing well. You could put Grealish in our team and he'd be awful because the whole team's awful, you know. So yeah. But no, I agree with you. We keep him. Leicester supporter, good evening. Okay, if you want to become a member, $1.99 a month. There is on YouTube in the description below on the YouTube. There should be a button. Well, it should say about joining, and there's a link. If you click on that link, or even under the video itself, there might be. I think there's a button that says join, isn't there?
I think so. Yeah, you click the join button.
Yeah,
that's how you come up with it.
But there is also a link in the description as well. But when it is live, oops, said Daisy. I can hear you talking there. The next, it's got join. There is a join button underneath the retainer release Leicester City squad. So click on that or go into the description, click on show more and it says join this channel. Guys, we've got 39 watching and only 12 likes. Can we please smash that likes button? The thing with the likes button, what it does is if anybody has never seen the channel before or is not subscribed, it puts our channel on to their homepage when they sort of log in. So please do like as well. Leicester, that's how you do it, sir. And it also tells you everything that you get as well. So thank you very much for asking. Okay, so LCFC, I think, is going to subscribe as well. That'll be very, very decent. Because we will be doing, like I say, next season, there will be some shows that are just going to be for members. Cheers, Leicester supporter. It is much appreciated. Okay, after phase, let's test Brad's alphabet knowledge again. Who's up next?
A B C D E F F F. Just going through my squad.
Do you want
in my head?
A clue? I can give you a clue. Oh, I don't care when to play it again.
You know what? It completely threw me off because all I could think of was his last name was Nacho.
Why is he in the eyes? He's should be under the ends.
And then when I clicked it was Idex, my brain went, oh, Iverson. And then I was like, oh no, Iniacho is his full name.
Oh dear. So, Mr. Crow, I think I know which way this one's going. He's with us for another 12 months.
Well, can we see him then? On the screen, you've still got Faze up there.
Have we? No,
yeah.
It's because I was playing you the video. There we go. So I know you love this guy. I know you got so much man love that you want him. I need to do a new Nacho video, don't I?
Yeah. Can I do both? Can I keep him and retain him? Can I offer him a new contract?
You can take him to bed if you want.
Oh, well, no, I wouldn't like that to him. I wouldn't like to scare the wits out of him too much. But I just think he's so wholesome, and his video that he did the interview at the end of the game. Oh, it breaks your heart, Chris. You just want to. I think anybody that watch it, you just want to give him a hug and tell him everything's going to be okay, because he's the only one that's actually shown any genuine remorse and upset for this season. Easiest one I'll make all the time, mate. Keep him. Offer him a new contract. Keep him.
Yeah, indeed. Doug, thank you so very much, sir. £5 super chat. That is amazing. You are a gentleman, sir. And just for that, I won't moan about the company that you work for that I had to have a shout out the other day. So, but thank you very much, Doug. You are a gentleman. Tielemans gone. Hurrah. Looking like he's off to Villa. 2. Who would your number 1 going into next season be? We'll come on to goalkeepers later, Doug. I can see him going to Villa because I don't think, and again, I heard this somewhere just very quickly on Tielemans. See, pay me £5, we'll talk about whatever you want to. But with Tielemans, I think that clubs like Liverpool, which is Doug's team, the Man United that were sort of interested in him, have actually looked and gone, I don't think he's actually all that. But
you literally took the word, to quote Meatloaf again, Chris, you didn't think you'd get away with it. But, Chris, you took the words right out of my mouth, mate. They've realised he's not actually all that.
In me. Oh, no. Let's just stick to the line.
Oh, for God's sake. But yeah, Chris, that's exactly what I was. That was my exact sentiments on Tielemans. I think the bus passed. The big clubs looks at him, and then that Peter Parker meme when it's like it's like Champions League logo. Oh, actually, it's just your gas stove fire. You ever seen them ones? Yeah. So you know what I'm on about. People don't. It's the obvious one there, like blurred, clear. Anyway, I kind of ruined it, but I know there's some people in there probably scratch their heads wondering what I was talking about. But yeah, you can't. It's that with Tielemans. I think now it's past. He's kind of gone, I kind of called Leicester's bluff, and when nobody came calling for me, maybe I've.
I've got to say, well done to Villa. What you've achieved just under Emery has been amazing. Congratulations at Europe, but Villa, honestly. What was all this about Barcelona and Real Madrid?
I was just about to say it's like he's woke up saying he's going to play alongside an ex-Barcelona player, and he's probably thinking, "Oh, I wonder if I'm going to play with Messi next season." And it turns out he's going to play alongside Philip Coutinho.
Yes. Oh God. $1.99 a month. I did say yes, indeed. It is $1.99 a month of your good English pounds. Scott says that's it. You two need more time away from each other. You're agreeing too much. Meatloaf. Gotta love a bit of Meatloaf. How many times have I seen him? Twice, I think it is. Absolutely love him. I mean, rest in peace. Obviously now, he's well and truly cooked. Keep only player. Who was devastated. Keep Iheanacho, make him captain perhaps. Keep Kelechi. Everybody saying hello to Doug, and thank you so much again for that, Doug. That is so very, very much appreciated. Keep Kelechi, keep Nacho, keep. Jay will also subscribe soon. Thank you so very much, sir. You are all gentlefolk as well.
So all those that are saying keep, if they want to set up a Kelechi and Nacho supporters group, just let me know. We'll have a group together, and we can have weekly meetings.
Yes. All I'm going to say is. If we sell him, I'm still going to play that. I don't care. I'm just gonna. We're still gonna play, but yeah, obviously, I agree with you. He is he's just an amazing human being. If he turned up and said, "Actually, I want to go," I would understand it with him because of the way he's been treated, but I hope he doesn't. I hope he
Yeah.
comes in, realises what we've got there. I'm surprised, he hasn't been knocking on the doors to leave, but look, I think we are in total agreement on that one. Absolute total agreement. Had a phone call, Mr. Bunch. Did you go over the wingers already? We'd go through it alphabetically, Nate. Well, I say alphabetically. Don't say alphabetically when Doug's around, because he doesn't know his alphabet either. Apparently, allegedly, it is different north of the border. I say that now he's paid the fiver. I can get away with it.
Now it's cleared as well, yeah.
Okay, so that was Nacho. I do need to do that one so I can just play it even if he doesn't score. Right, we were asked about goalkeepers earlier by Douglas. By Douglas. Mr. Everson, I think again I know which way this is going. Do you keep loan him, or do you re-sign him, or let him go, or cash in?
Well, this is obvious one, this isn't it, Chris? It's easy. You sell him. No, of course you keep him. Keep him. He's going to be number one next season. Spoiler alert.
Your opinion is wrong.
Yeah, you keep him, Chris.
So that was for selling him. I should.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't. Well, I'd be confused if you said for the second part. No, yeah. You keep him. He's going to be the number one going forward. I feel. I mean, that might change. Whoever's manager might not like him and prefer Ward deserves another chance. But for me, yeah, he's warranted the spot.
Contract. He has. It was always going to be difficult for him coming in after Ward because Ward had taken such a beating. I mean, let's be honest with you. You know what Leicester fans are like when they just take dislike to a player. They absolutely hate him. And I don't think he was as bad as people worked out. We've had this conversation loads, haven't we, Brad? And I think with Everson, he came in. Yes, he's made mistakes, but for God's sake, who hasn't? And you always say about Casper when he started. I think he's got the potential to be, say you're my number one. Was that Princess that sang that? I think it was. Say you're my number one.
I don't know.
They probably sang it better.
I don't know.
In fairness. Somebody will tell us in the chat. But yes, I agree with you. We keep him. And we I think if we keep Everson, and we'll come on to the other goalkeepers obviously later, one of them very much towards the end, Brad. True there. But if we keep Everson, I don't think we actually need to necessarily buy a new goalkeeper. Certainly not a new number one.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's the best division to again, there's no point for the sake of it rebuilding every position if it's not needed. We're in the Championship. If how he's played and been in the Premiership is anything to go by, and he's not a finished article by any stretch of the imagination, but he's at that sort of age where a certain other Danish goalkeeper came to us and kicked on and got better with it and improved over each season. So if there's ever a time to be in the division and have more games he's going to play and get more experience and be in the first team more and be more excellent, this is it. He's mid-20s. We've still got a few years left in him, so why not?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think you've got to look at these players. I mean, I'm old enough to quote this, but Gordon Banks, World Cup winner. His number two was Peter Shilton. Knocked on the manager's door, said, "Look, play me or sell me," and they actually let Gordon Banks go, and they kept Peter Shilton. And look where he went. Look what happened to him. All right, but he was England's number one, obviously. A great goalkeeper. We've had a history of some good goalkeepers down the years. Let's not forget Casey Keller before you mention him, because I know you're going to. But yeah, to me, he's got to get better, and I think he will take over from Schmeichel as Denmark's number one.
Yeah, it seems like the perfect passing of the torch for both club and country, doesn't it?
Have you got somebody else's teeth in tonight?
I think so, mate. They're talking backwards at the times, but no, it could be, couldn't it? I mean, I did tweet it out a while back now, or did I put it on Facebook? Wherever I did, I put it out there somewhere where I said, "How do you replace one big Danish legend of a goalkeeper?" Oh, okay. It seems that you just bring in another big Dane and a cute goalkeeper, and you just do it that way. Sometimes the answer's staring you straight in the face, and that's something you can say. Thanks to our development of the youth system over the years, it is something we've got a great advantage of. Because again, it's who. Sorry, I don't mean to say just who. Who is he? Sounds like he's a. Is he? Because you could have told me he was a carpenter, and I would have believed you with a name like that. I've never heard of him.
No, but I mean, look, yeah, we're gonna, like I said at the start, we're going to be linked with everybody and the dog, aren't we? You know.
Yeah, of course.
You know, if Snow White walked through the door, we'd be linked with all 7 of the dwarves, and you've got Grumpy next to me here. But hey, never miss an opportunity.
That's all right, because I work with Dopey right there.
Who's on that side? You mean?
I know, that's why I did it.
Hey. Yeah, it was Princess Gray. Thank you very much. I kind of going to just say, Gray, as much as I love you for always coming up with the right answers, Kevin Pressman was good. Yes, he was good down McDonald's for them, wasn't he?
Yeah. He got lobbed. I remember against Preston, he got scored. Andy Lonergan scored past him.
Yes.
And we scored past him in a game when he played for Sheffield Wednesday. We should know what we were getting.
Yeah, indeed. Scott, all the best, mate, to you and your family. I hope they're all, excuse me. I hope they are all well. The Blue Fox, I don't know myself. Brad just linked with him. Yeah, I think he is the Sunderland one. I think, to be honest with you. But look, you know, we've got to look and say we've got to spend carefully because we now got different FFP rules.
Yeah.
And hopefully, although we've not got rid of many today, very, very few.
Yeah.
We've got 3.
Well, don't worry, that list is going to start growing in the departure category.
Oh dear. Yeah, I think we better do. Right. Here we go. Nope. Next.
Keep simple. Moving on, simple. Keep, bag him, tag him. He's not going to go anywhere. He'll rebuild with us. He's played in the Championship. Technically, did he kick a ball in the Championship? I don't know, but he came up. He brought Luton up to the Championship. He was so cruelly done this season. He was severely missed.
Yeah.
I think if he's fit, I don't know if we'd have brought in Christensen. Maybe we would have brought it in for a bit of a competition for him. But no, again, 2026, unless he turns around to us and says, I'm walking, I'm keeping him. It's a very simple one. He's a talent and a half. He'll be brilliant in that division.
I mean, he must look and think, bloody hell, I left Luton to come to Leicester.
I know, the irony, of course, but I've got more faith in us switching with them next season than I do anything else. So if they stay up, that'd be great. We go up, stay up. They can have a reunion.
I agree. Look, 31 of you in, still only 19 likes. Smash that likes, please do. Boris says Colin Mackleworth. I've no idea who Colin Mackleworth is, but sounds like a good northerner. First goalie you saw for Leicester. Oof. Yeah.
We're not there yet.
They're not up to cake. He's jumping ahead. He's great. He's doing a Dave, isn't he? Keep Justin unless somebody plays massive money, which I don't think they will because they're injured. So he's kind of gone off everybody's scale. The only one that might is Luton for obvious reasons. You know, definitely keep. I'd definitely keep. JJ says Gray. Keep Gorinda. You've got to keep Gorinda. You can't let Gorinda go.
She's too elite for us, though, Chris. I'm sorry.
Elite.
You can't.
We'll have to loan her out for a season while we're in the Championship.
Oh yes, yes. Loan her to Forest. They can have her.
Oh, poor sauce.
Okay, so we've just seen Mr. JJ. That was a very quick one. Up next, well, he was in early, was great, but it's quite right. Mr. Christensen, and I have to say, I keep forgetting he is younger than Luke Thomas.
Yeah, I think that's mainly because us fans have thought Luke Thomas was 19 for about 3 years. But he is still reasonably young. And look, again, he showed passion, desire, which is very hard to find this season in the squad and some of the players. I think he showed his potential. Obviously, the fact that he's probably he's the youngest out of the three on that side. If you talk Justin as well, he's probably younger than him as well. So the fact that he plays that way and he's so young, again, keep remembering. This is my opinion. I'm not doing it on the basis of will these players stay or not. I'm going off basically what I want them to.
Yeah.
I would keep him. Again, unless he says I want out for whatever reason, I would keep him because I think he's going to be a great asset to this side.
I mean, he's with us till 2028 anyway.
Yeah, and again, people have to remember we don't need to sell.
No.
You know,
I don't think he'll be on that higher wage either, because some of the players that we need to get rid of are more those that we've been paying high wages to that have been with us for a while that are decidedly average. Facebook user, stick your name at the end, as I always say. Unfortunately, I hear Mr. Christensen has a relegation clause in his contract. May well do. A lot of these players may well do, and yeah, we've got to say we know that there's going to be a load leave. Look, we've been relegated. We may do a Burnley and sell 90% of the players and bring them all new in. Who knows? That is the big question. But yes, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a relegation clause in his contract. Who can blame them? Who can blame them these days? And to be honest with you, I heard Rob Tanner say this. If the club's got any sense, they will have a relegation clause in as well, saying your wages are down. So it works both ways.
Yeah,
he was asked about this on a podcast, and he said, there will be relegation clauses both for the player and for the club. So yes, it's a good point.
Yeah, it's a fail safe because if you go down and you know automatically that whether they stay. If they stay, a player's wage is dropping by 30%. You're already in a position of going, well, we're already under the FFP, so we're already in a good position in that sense without anybody leaving. So,
yes,
and just because he might have a release call doesn't mean someone thinks he's worth that right now. So he might be thinking, I need more game time. I want to showcase myself.
And depends what that price is set at, doesn't it? People might look at it and go,
it could be. That. Yeah, I mean, it could be 35 million that it's set at or something like that, and that's a lot for a left back that's only been here 5 minutes.
Yes, yeah. Right, we'll move on straight after this.
Matt Elliott here. Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
for all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels for the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Come on, you foxes!
Think we know what we're going to say about this one, don't we?
Yeah, cash in on him.
Yeah.
Cashing on him. I'm sorry, I'm not having another Tillemans. I'm not seeing somebody who we know on their day, whether you like him, whether you question his commitment or not, but put that to one side. We know this guy's a talent. He's gonna be a very good Premier League player. Will he be world class? Only time will tell. But he's a very good Premier League player. Whether you like him or not, he deserves to be playing Premier League football with what he can do. Regardless of his attitude this season, and again, your opinion of him, he's too good for the Championship. and I wouldn't want him around. I'm not doing the Yori. I want value from what I can get for him, and if that's 20 million to Newcastle, so be it. Yeah, I'm cashing in. And if you can put the 20 million that I've just priced him out the door for in my bank account, I'd be very much appreciative, Chris. Thanks very much.
No, I agree. I agree again, 100%. He won't want to play in the Championship. You know, he's in the England squad. And to be honest with you, I don't think he's the sort of player we need down there.
No, I think he's one of them players that, in a weird sense, for as good as he's been, and and again, it's the same. It's not the same as Yuri in a sense of it. It's we're going to have good memories. We know he's good. Yes, when his mind wasn't at it, or whatever reason he went off the boil, you knew it made you feel like you had 10 men, didn't you? But for me, this is like a game show option. I'm going to take the money and run, Chris. I'm going to take the 20, 25, 30 million, whatever we get for him, because it's only going to be around that back, because we are a Championship club, no matter how steady we're going to be financial-wise. No one's going to pay 50 million for a Championship player.
No.
Well, stranger things have happened. I mean, stranger things have happened, but he's got 1 year on his contract.
We possibly lost out with the likes. We could have maybe sold Tielemans, but we wanted more than we were being offered, and now we're not going to get anything at all. Sometimes you have to cut your cloth accordingly.
Learn from being burnt. Don't get burnt twice by the same trick.
No, exactly. Okay, here we go then. After Mr. Madison, it's Mr. Mendy.
I really like this player. I do. But, yeah, I do like this player more than others in that position. And more.
He used to be a goalkeeper. How silly can we get?
I know. But Papa Mendy, I'm releasing him.
What?
I think he needs to move on. I think he's done what he can, but I think there's an area of that pitch. You've got to remember, I'm keeping Chowdhury, and I think we need to really. I let him go. I feel for him. I think this club's really pissed him around since the day he walked through this club.
Oh, I'm not arguing with that. Yes, they have. Totally.
And for me, even under Dean Smith, he's found himself wanting on the sub bench and not getting starts. And I think
your opinion is wrong.
Maybe so. I know it's very weird to be saying this, because I do like him as a player, and I do feel he's been mistreated and deserved more playing time. But for me, he's not going to play in the Championship that often, because I think certain other players are going to get are higher in the pecking order for a Championship fight. Oh, yeah, I'm releasing Chris. I am. I'm sorry. I
know. I accept. This is your show, but I will, like I've just said, obviously, in a joking way, I disagree. And maybe it means that when we come on, we're going to disagree about somebody else. But I am going to re-sign him. I think of the options we have, I think we've got to remember it is a longer season, and those defensive midfielders, we don't want to leave ourselves short. I don't think he will re-sign. I think he'll turn around and go to you. So I think he'll go, but I would love to re-sign him. So that's the third one we've disagreed on.
We're getting there, Chris. I told you it'd start happening.
Yes, we are. And I tell you what, I'm having custody of the dog.
You're bloody not. If it's a dog on offer, you can have the cat.
Here we go. And this is another one maybe we'll disagree on, but this is why I have disagreed with Mr. Mendy, because Mr. Mendy and Mendidi, what are you going to be doing with our Wolf?
I'm selling him. I'm cashing in on him. I think he fell off last season. I think the rise in Mendy for that spell, and then I think since Samari's kind of finally found his feet in the English game, and then maybe when Wilf was thinking, "Oh, I'm going to get my spot back now," Mendy's not, and get ready to play it, Chris. But when Mendy maybe thought, "Oh, well, Mendy's hot streak's ended under Bellend."
Bellend.
Yeah, there we go. I'll get back in the team and I'll walk back in there and everything be hunky-dory. He's not found it. And when he has played, Chris, I can't remember the last time I gave him a rating over 5.
No.
I would cash in on him. I think there's 15, 20 million sitting there right now that somebody in the Italian leagues or somewhere like that would take him. I don't even know if a Premiership team would look at him.
Well, Joss has just said West Ham will take him if Rice goes. Possibly.
Yeah, well, okay. So no English team with a brain would take him.
Look, indeed, look, he was the new Katey when we got him, and he deserved to be called that.
And again, maybe he was a player that we missed the chance to sell him for high value when he was on his hot streak, but we didn't know that he would drop off the way he did.
Yeah, and is a lot of the fact that all these players have dropped off down to
Bellend.
Because they were fine until they all got injured, and I don't think we've ever had so many injuries under a manager as we have had under
Bellend.
So
you just like to play that, don't you?
Bellend.
Oh yeah. It's going to be around for a while, guys. Get used to it. It's going to be up there with injury time. But yeah, I think he has to go. I agree with you on that. There was a time when the likes of Man United were coming in for him, allegedly, or wanted him. Now they won't touch him with a barge pole. Like I say, it could be the injuries and what have you, but yeah, no, he's one that we need to cash in on. I agree, and I think he'll be on reasonably high wages as well.
And again, he's one of them players that those clubs that were interested in him and have replaced them sort of roles. Casemiro at Manchester United. Well, he's already doing that role for them now, isn't he? So,
Blue Fox, I loved him a few years ago, but now he's just sloppy. Look, and and again, he can be. Let's be honest with you, he's played centre back, but he's prone to give a penalty away as well. He's got long legs and he doesn't control them very well. Right, so that's...
And he's got Mr. Tickle arms as well.
It is. This, I think, could be very, very, very short.
Stay in Spain, fuck off, see you later, arrivederci, goodbye, never wear that shirt again, thanks for nothing, thanks for blazing the shot over the bar that cost us top 4 against Chelsea. The only thing you did at this club was handball it and play it until him to score the FA Cup winning goal. See you later, sayonara, arrivederci, move on now, please, goodbye.
I think you're being very unfair. I mean, do you really, have you been watching him play?
You don't know the answer to that question, and I think you are an ostrich.
I haven't watched him play, Chris, because he couldn't even get on the Real Betis team.
No, let's be honest with you. We're not going to argue with each other on this one. We know he's gone anyway. But
look, he's up there with Jestergaard as the worst signing Brendan Rodgers brought to this club. In fact, I'd argue he was one of the worst signings we ever made.
Oh my God! I've just stuck him under the resign column.
You dare! You dare!
Look, hang on, look, forgive me, look, I'm going to get the Ultifex out.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but he was one of them players that it wasn't when he was missing in talent. He was even when he was trying, bless him. Look, he's a lovely person, I'm sure he is. There's nothing against him as a person himself, but as a so-called professional footballer.
He's a wanker.
Yeah, when Perez was on the pitch, we literally started the game with 10 men.
Well, this is very true. Now, this one's going to be interesting. He's got a year left on his contract. Mr. Pratt.
Cash in. I don't think he's ever going to kick on. He's just had so many unfortunate injuries. Every time he looks half decent, he's out for 3 weeks because he pulls a groin and a hamstring.
Yeah.
We don't need a sick note. It's one of the areas. It's like that cupboard in your house that you've been to go through and organise it and declutter it for ages, and you've never done it. And the midfield is an area for Leicester where they need to clear out. And I think you're going to bring in a fresh face for a fresh place, and I think you're going to get a younger, hungry, up and coming Championship level player to come in. Who's going to be on the bench, who's going to be working for it. What's Dennis Pratt now, 26, 27? Possibly. Go and play in Spain. Yeah, something like that, isn't it? Go and play in Spain or go and play at Torino. Hopefully they'll finally be able to take you as you've been there enough. And it's not because I don't like him. I think he is an okay talent, but yeah, sorry.
Boris says there, another player that was abused by Leicester.
Boris, he was just shit.
Well, no, I wouldn't. I'd have to disagree with that.
No, he was.
Everybody wanted him to play. He wasn't given the chance, but he was we bought the wrong player. And that's the fact. I don't think he's a bad player. I just don't think he was necessarily suited for the English game.
I think he was one of them players that was never going to play in the role that he was probably better at, and I will give him that. I will say that in his defence. I don't know why he ever thought he was going to play ahead of James Maddison in that role, but he was never played in his stronger position, and I will say that. Yeah, I will say that. But yeah, for me,
I'm going to agree with you on the fact that we should cash in. We buy players from England, from the other countries, and go, oh, the shit, they're not doing it for us and all this. Perez scored 3 against Southampton. Yeah, but that was his 3 goals that season. But
yeah, that actually was it. I think. I don't think he scored again afterwards.
But look, with Dennis Pratt, he's one of those, a bit like Damari Gray. You bring him on as a substitute, and you think, oh, he's doing all right, and then you start him the next game, and it's like, oh, He gets
that start, and then he flatters to deceive, doesn't he? Because he doesn't play as well as he did when he played 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think you've got to look at some players and go, are they more suited to? We say in this country, he's a Championship player, not a Premier League, because it's 2 different styles of play. And I think it's the same with like Slimani was great in Portugal. All right, we didn't play him to his beat.
He was signed. Let's get it right with Slimani, mate. And it was told in his career he was signed purely for the Champions League.
Yeah.
Because that's why he was at his best at Leicester, playing in them games, weren't he?
It was the only time he really played.
Exactly.
But I think you look at these. You have to look at these players and go, will they suit the English game? Will they? And we'll come on to a player that was brought in and was wrong for the team, etc. But you've got to look, and you don't always know whether they're going to be right for the English game because it is played differently. But no, I agree with you. Let's cash in. Let's get so, and I think he'll be happier as well. It's not fair for him as a player. Blue's got to go. Take care, Blue. Thanks for popping in. We will see you soon. Right, next up. Now then, Mr. Ricardo.
This is a difficult one. Because unfortunately...
2026 he's signed till.
See, it's a difficult one. Because I've said it twice now in regards to some other players. It's a sick note. The problem with Ricardo as well is he's a long-term sick note. He never comes off the pitch with a niggle, does he? He can't just be out for 2 or 3 days like, he'll miss Tuesday's game, but he'll be back for Saturday's game. It's always 4 weeks with him. It's always 6 weeks. It's always a couple of months, is it? It's never 3 days. He never seems to get an injury that's just a little niggle and he has to rest longer than others or something like that. It's always a bloody 4+ weeker, isn't it? He's never had an injury that ain't short term, and I mean, he's probably one that won't stay around anyway, regardless. If you want to soften the blow here a little bit and accept defeat on it, but I'd cash in. I'd cash in. I would cash in on him, and I know that leaves us light, and it might be an area we have to dip into to the market. But although JJ can play both sides, so I don't know. But yeah,
but
for me,
JJ can play both sides. We've got cover, but then if JJ gets injured again, we are then.
Yeah, like I said, I think it might be an area we just need to reinvest because.
Yeah, fair point. So yeah, I can see what you're saying. You know where this is leading, don't you? I'm going to disagree with you on this one, although he is in the cash-in column because, like I say, it's your decision. But I'm just on some of them playing devil's advocate. I would like to see him have a season under let's just put it this way. I'd like to see him have a season where he's not under, because I think, whether he might not get injured as much without the training regime. For me, I would keep him. And I think, who is it that just said there? I can't see it. Let's just have a look. Just see. Oh yeah, here we go. LCFC. Keep Ricky P at least for one more season. I think we should keep him for another season.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against keeping him for obvious reasons. He is a quality player. It's just in the back of my mind.
He is injury prone, as Gray said there.
Yeah.
What I like about Ricky is, to me, I'd have him over Castagna.
Oh yeah.
If they're both fit. And if we keep Castagna, I've always said, why don't we play Ricardo on that right wing?
Yeah, because he's been playing that position before, even under the most boring man in the world. Puel played him there as a right winger at times, didn't he? Because he had Castagna as his right back. But I mean, I can because the thing is, Leicester would have known, and they know this. The stat that the people think, oh, why did we sign him? He's injury prone. They weigh up the pros and cons of every player, and they would have known. Look, his knee don't really hold together that well. We're gonna have to be careful with him because he is injury prone. Because believe it or not, guys, some people are just naturally injury prone. I do a lot of research and stuff like this, and I love learning about stuff like this, but. Because I learned about it when there was these ex-players or ex-superstars from sports, and they do these tours and they get asked questions from the crowd. Someone asked it on a video once I was watching. I've got such an exciting life. But they said, what? That it was talking about a medical.
I know you have you on here every night. How more excited do you want to get?
I know, right? I live the dream, mate. I live the dream. But no, they were talking about a medical and stuff like that. And they basically said, they don't take a medical on an assessment on if he's fit to play or not, because a player can sign for you if he's injured. What they do is they assess his injury track record. And like Ricardo, I'm sure they would have tested him, maybe saw something on there that doesn't mean he can't play football, but it's a concern. And they go, okay, is Ricardo, let's say he does pick up an injury here or there throughout your seasons, is he worth keeping and having here on a long-term basis, because he's a good player when he's fit? And they obviously seen it as a yes, so that's why they gave him a long contract. Because if we have him for three years, Chris, we don't see a lot of him, do we? If he's injured half the time,
we don't. But again, like I say, under a new manager, will he not have his injury problems? We know a lot of players that have. I mean, like when we sign, I mean, you can't blame a player. It's like we know Ryan Bertrand's not played anything in the Premier League for us, but it wasn't his fault that he suddenly got injured. The Southampton fans knew he was a sick note, so he must have been, like you said, checked out. But he didn't want to be injured all this time.
Of course,
But
I mean, maybe he's one we do keep, so we don't purposely sparse ourselves on numbers. But it's just. I can't go on a hypothetical.
No. Look, I can say it.
And I'm gonna stand by my ground and say, yeah, I would personally cash in on him.
That's right. That is you. Like I say, like I've said many times, you are the one that's deciding here.
Yeah, but I do agree with the points you're making for why we could potentially keep him.
Yeah, this next one's going to be interesting because I think we might definitely disagree on this next one. Shall we have a look?
Yeah.
Mr. Smithers. We've got him till 2024.
It's like Jakupovic. You might as well keep him.
Exactly. But will you stop reading my bloody notes?
You know, I mean, keep him. What? I mean, worst case scenario, what? Give him the bin in the dressing room and a pair of gloves. At least he can clean the dressing room up afterwards if you're not going to play him. Because what's the point in not keeping it? Yeah, why not keep him for that? You know what if we have one game where both keepers go off injured and we end up with a Steve Lynex back in goal? I'll keep him for that basis if you have to. I don't care, but
yes, yeah. Gray, I can just say to you as well, sir, you're one of the biggest supporters here, and you're a member as well. That is really, really, really much appreciated. It does keep the channel going. It literally just on StreamYard, I think it was 350 quid the other year because of the way the pound, because I actually knew it during the Theresa May mini budget months, and it cost me a bloody fortune because the pound was so shit. So it does help keeping the channel running. Thank you so very much, Gray. Really, really do appreciate that. You are a gentleman, sir. And just to say a thank you there. Look, do you know, and I'm going to maybe give something away here about somebody that's coming up. But to me, with the goalkeeping, it's not one of the areas I'm particularly over-bothered about now because I think Everson is going to be our number one. Say you're my number one. There we go. And I think Stoichek is it. I don't know how you pronounce it. I think he could come in as the understudy with Smithers as that experienced, like Jakupovic, he's there in case of an emergency. He's going to get less games than Ron Zieler, whatever he was called. What was it? I can't remember. I was calling him Ron, but what was he called?
Ron Robert Zieler.
Ron Robert Zieler, yeah, I think Ron was a porn star. I don't know, but look, he was on telly the other night. That's why, not that sort of telly. But look, I think Alex Smithers is there and he knew when he was coming to Leicester. He knew he wasn't going to get many games. You know, he'll get on the sub bench every now and again.
It's like Scott Carson being at Man City.
Yes. I mean, Conrad Logan. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Him? I've never, he was sponsored by Park Benches Limited. There's just that when you get to a level, and if I'm 34, 35, like, and I know that goalkeepers can go on a bit longer, but if somebody said to me like, "Do you want to play for Leicester?" Who, let's be honest with you, at the time were a Championship, a Premier League club, but you're not going to get many games. But you're our insurance policy. And I'm thinking. And my other choice is to go to Rochdale. I could play every week at Rochdale. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, I get you. Yeah, exactly.
It's there, I think, like I say. And I've got to say to you, I agree with you on that one. I didn't think you'd want to keep him, but I do agree with you. With, I say, Stoichek coming back, who's been out on loan this last season, probably as a number two. He seems to have got on very well on his loan period. And I think Everson. I think I say for me the goalkeeper area is covered. And that Liz Truss. What did I say?
You said Theresa May.
Well, let's be honest with you. Put a woman
both the same.
Put a woman in charge of all that money. What do you expect? Oh,
put yourself in a timeout, sir.
Hashtag joking, ladies. It's a good job Katey's not in tonight, isn't it? Smithers, exactly. And he, bring him in, and look, he's got the experience.
Let him play against Barnet in the cup, first round of the Carabao Cup. Exactly. You read me mind. Let him play in them games. Why not?
Yeah. Banter. Exactly. Hashtag banter. Covers everything. Right. After Alex Smithers, we're getting now towards the, we might disagree on this gentleman. Boubakary Soumaré is with us till 2026, so he's got 3 years left on his contract. 3 wheels on my wagon.
Maybe past decisions I've made might actually surprise you here with why I'm going with this one, because I'm keeping him. I think he's suddenly found his feet. He was like Bambi on ice, weren't he? But it's been discovered that if you play a player in the role that he was playing at his other club, you actually get a good player. Now, I know that was a lot of players in that sentence, but I'm learning to say my P's better so I don't piss people off when I stumble over my words.
Are you saying that we used to have a manager that would buy a player from a club and then think that he's not going to be able to play in the role that he was and would change roles?
Bell end.
Yeah, Chris. That's, you know what? Funny enough, mate, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like he spent a long time being played in a position that he couldn't play because he never played in that position before when he was at his previous club, and some bell end.
Bell end.
I'm clicking it. My mouse wasn't working.
Said I signed him to play in a different role because he'll fit in my system, not that way. It's like, why did you sign him if you didn't sign him for how he played at his previous club? Then it's amazing how he plays, Chris, because suddenly he is our number one choice. He is the guy that eats his shredders and lifts weights because he bullies people off the ball. And you talk about the Championship being a bit of a scruffy dog league in that sense for some of the style of players you get there. It's well known for that. We know it. We've spent many a year watching it by being in it, Chris. And not that much. It hasn't changed about the Championship. Perfect man for the job for me to go in that midfield with like a Chowdhury and players like that. So yeah, keep him, mate.
You see, for me, I again 100% agree. I think we need 2 defensive midfielders. That's why I was keeping Mendy or re-signing Mendy and Soumaré, and I know it's 3 because I got my numbers wrong, and Chowdhury, but you're going to get an injury at some point.
True.
Got a lot of games, but to me, your Mendy or your Chowdhury are your main defensive midfielders, and I think sometimes Soumaré. I mean, when was it the Charity Shield? The English Super Cup. And he actually didn't look too bad on the ball when he had the space to do things with it. He's not a box-to-box midfielder, which is what Brendan suddenly wanted to turn him into. Well, why don't you buy one of those then? But I think that if he's given that freedom to go forward and he knows he's got a Mendy or a Chowdhury, watching that gap just in case, I think that would work brilliantly for us. And I agree with you. Keep him 110. That's a bit hard, Boris. No, I'm not having. You can't call somebody thick. I'm sorry. Call him a bell end, but don't call him thick. He never tracks back. But that's why to me, you have a defensive midfielder with him. Because if you see Soumaré running down towards you, you're going to go. After you go through, sir.
Yeah. Look, he's got the strength that you need, and a little bit. And I'm not saying anywhere near the talent. Before anybody goes and thinks I've lost my mind, he's not bone idle. I don't know where you think. I don't know where this interpretation is bone idle is. I don't know that he wasn't. He was shackled down, but he shows me something. And again, not to the talent level, before people bombard saying how can you compare the two, but he reminds me of how Yaya Toure was utilised by Man City. If you needed to stick him in the defensive role, he'd be a unit, he'd use his muscle, he'd bully off the ball, and he could pass the ball to Barnes, he could pass the ball to KDH, whoever's in that midfield with him, whoever stays or whatever, right? And if you want him to be able to get on the ball and pick it up on the halfway line and run at defences, which he started doing under Dean Smith, he can do it. Okay, and the reason he's not a box-to-box one is because I've never seen him score a goal in his life, and if he did, I can't remember it. Someone needs to remind me. But he's the one that gets you 25, 30 yards out, and he makes that pass to the guy who's going to unlock the defence from there on out. And that's what you need. You need the supplier to give it to the keeper of keys, if you will, i.e. a Madison-type player.
Yeah.
To go, there you are, I've got you to where you need to. Here's your checking point. Yeah, take the ball off me. See you later. I'm going to drop back now. That's what he'll do, and that's what he's been doing. I think I'm with Nate. Early hot shout, Chris. If he stays and plays a lot next season, he will be everybody's player of the season. Yes,
yeah. Now, and you know what? Stick him up at corners. Do you want? Would you want to be the player that has to mark him?
No, because he looks like he's got a face on that looks like somebody who's an actor who's got a bit of build to him. He looks, you know what I mean, like that bad guy in the thing. You think, I don't want him tackling me or something like that.
Basically, a brick shithouse. That's what we're saying.
Yeah. I couldn't think of the way to describe it, but yeah, you wouldn't want to come up against him, and you wouldn't like him body checking you in the Championship, would you? Because you would bounce. You would go. In fact, you would go further bouncing off his chest backwards than you would running up the pitch.
Yeah. And in fairness as well, look, we said we need. It's not tippy tappy powder puff girl football in the Championship.
I tell you what, Chris, he surprises you sometimes because you think he's just a big unit. But he's quite nimble on them feet. He made some lovely turns and turned people inside out. He made some great movements on the ball.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he is the sort of player I believe we need in the Championship.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He can spread a pass.
Yeah. And he's got that presence, like Hamza. He won't be scared of getting his foot in there.
Yeah.
And this is going to be an obvious one. I think this will be a quickie. Said that a few times. Mr. Sutar, he's with us till 2028. He was thinking, fuck's sake, I just left this league. He's going to be with us, isn't he?
Yeah, keep him simple. We only signed him in January. He's only been here 5 minutes. Yeah. He's not really had it's strange he went out the team because apparently he was tired. I didn't know you could do that, playing in the Championship twice a week and then go from that to playing once every 7 days. But whatever the reason, I'd still keep him because he's played in this division and he's only just caught here. So, yeah.
He knows the division as well, doesn't he? He knows what needs to be done. I think we're probably, so we agree on that one. I have a feeling tonight's going to be a good... I have a feeling we're going to agree on this next one as well. Tete time.
Yeah, bye. See you later.
Exactly.
You were the wish. You was like, this is what you think you're getting, but when you order off a site like Wish, this was like, this is what you think you're getting, and then what you need, Chris, is a complete dud as the opposite to what you actually receive in the order. Because we thought, Chris, right? Contrary to belief, we thought we were getting a Brazilian. And what we maybe got was the nut on the inside because he had that game against Villa and then unfortunately he did fuck all afterwards.
It was a close shave though, wasn't it?
Oh, wow.
But no, it's like, when you order, there's an advert, I think, for Heinz and you order food online and it comes and you've ordered Heinz baked beans and you get Bramwell's. We thought we were getting a Brazilian, and we got like a Chilean or a Uruguay. Yeah, there's one bad Brazilian, and it's him. And I just haven't been impressed with him. And I know I've had this discussion with yourself over one game where I just thought he was bloody awful, to be honest with you. Look, everybody else is on that position. It's always I think you asked the other day. You mentioned it. That whoever fills in for Vardy as and when he retires. It's always going to be he's no Vardy, or he's going to have that albatross around his neck. We've still got that Mahrez thing around his neck. We've tried another Algerian. We've tried a Frenchman down there. We've tried a Brazilian now. And yet we've got Mark Albrighton sat on the bench that we let. Although I think he was let go. In fairness, I think Mark Albrighton was let go because we were going to sign Jack Harrison.
Yeah, there was that obvious deal that was going to go through, and that was going to push him down the order. And he nearly didn't go anyway. He didn't want to go. He doesn't want to go. So that's a sign like that. And you're kind of right. And also, we fucked up with Adamola Lookman because we would have had that right midfield solved. We had it solved.
Yeah,
we had it in the proverbial palm of our hands, and we somehow amazingly.
I can't believe I'm saying this about Leicester, but just for £15 little million. Oh God! Anyway,
for what? For 2 weeks would have been and on about a transfer deal, and we pushed the financial fair play. We were getting rid of French Voldemort, so should have just done that.
Maybe we didn't know. Oh yeah. Anyway, that's like you say. That's like putting the proverbial
eyes and having high yeah. He's a sort of player that. Well, who my number one choice for the one who got away is someone who you've had the pleasure to interview on this channel. I think Adamola Lookman joins the list with Stan Collymore.
Yes, yeah,
the one that got away for Leicester. So,
but look, it happens, doesn't it? For every Vardy we sign, there's there's a Bertrand, if you like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he could. I mean, he could have been swapped over with Barnes. That is a very good point. Gray says there, Lookman, the one that got away. Under came in. We loved him, didn't we? Under for 2 games, and then we thought, did you think, well, maybe Brendan was. Oh God, I called him Brendan. Hang on,
Bellend.
Maybe he was right when he came to Under.
Yeah, and again, talking of the Bellend. He was very weird when it came to being allowed to do deals. Not only did he make some very strange signings, easy for me to say, but didn't he do the same with Under that he did with Gordon Bennett? I know that isn't his name. I think it was Ryan Bennett, but I forgot it for a second. Yeah. Yes. Where if he played a certain amount of games, we had to sign him. I think we had that deal with Bennett with Wolves.
It was never confirmed.
Oh yeah, but I think that no smoke without fire. I don't think there was any whispers without too much.
I'm not saying it wasn't, but we'll never know sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that was a case with Under, and I think that didn't help him because then all of a sudden when he started to get dropped, he probably thought, oh, well, that means he doesn't like me, then he doesn't want me. So what's the point?
Yeah.
So I'm the jury for me will always be out on Under because I think he was unfairly judged and treated prematurely before he really had a decent run. Because I thought at the time when he actually got dropped, me and you were probably going, why isn't Under playing? He's been doing okay. He's looking okay now, like he'd settled in. And it was almost like Rodgers went, oh, I can't afford to play him because I don't want to sign him next summer. But yeah. Anyway, we're on Tete. Bye. See you later.
I agree with you 100%.
Sorry.
On that one. But do you ever really should you sign a player on the fact that if you play him because when you sign a player, no idea. Look at Musa, 2 goals against Barcelona. You think brilliant. Look at Diabate. Oh no, maybe we shouldn't look at Diabate. But look at Daka, 4 goals in a game against Moscow. Then they struggle. So you don't know how good the player's going to be. So I think agreeing to sign a player and then agreeing that we will keep him if he plays so many games is stupid. But then look, we are talking.
Bellend.
So right, Mr. Thomas. Now this is going to be interesting. 2024. I'll put a question mark there because apparently nobody's actually sure when his contract runs out. It was undisclosed date, so it could be. I think we've got him for at least another year, but nobody, even the Mercury, nobody's 100% sure.
This is a weird one. This is a very weird one because had this been last season, had last season ended with us staying in the Premiership, I'd be saying loan him out. But we're in a division that I'd loan him out to. And going off my, going off the decisions I've made, I would keep him. I wouldn't loan him out now. I would keep him because we are a club that have the same stature as where I would have loaned him out to. And there's no point loaning him out because not only are we in the Championship, but I'm getting rid of a few wing backs. I've decluttered that area a bit. And I think he's the one that cup games, double up of fixtures, certain oppositions where we need to be a bit defensive minded. He's ideal because that's the role he does, and he does it well when he's played just as a defensive left back. So for me, keep him.
Yeah, again, 100% agree. If we're in the Premier League, I would still keep him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'd keep, but he'd be a loan as a Premier League player.
It wouldn't be for me, I've got to be honest with you. Use is what I meant, sorry. But no, just for me, I just think, look, I don't think he's as bad as people seem to make out he is.
He's not.
I really don't, It's like, people, Leicester fans hated Ben Chilwell when he was England's number one left back. How can you hate somebody that is England's number one left back? Okay, you could say maybe maybe we should have had somebody who wasn't English in there, but he was never as bad a player as everybody said he was, and he had a goal in him. And look, Thomas, he's played in the Europa League, for God's sake. He's played in conference, he's played in Europe. He had the confidence to shout Vardy to leave it when he scored that goal against United. He did. That guy's got some balls, hasn't he? But I agree. We're in the Championship now. He's too good to be loaned to a League One or a League Two, and we would be loaning him if we did to a club that's the same as us. So yeah, keep him and use him definitely 100%. Talking of Bellens, he's gone, so we're not even going to be looking at that.
Bye. See you later.
Goodbye, good riddance. Vardy, Mr. Jamie Vardy, the best £1 million any club has ever spent in the history of football.
Second, he changed his mind and turned down Arsenal. Jamie Vardy was going to end his career at Leicester, in my opinion. That's the only thing I ever saw Jamie Vardy doing was maybe allegedly the pants wearer in his house, his wife, convincing him to leave onto and I'll quote this because they're famous for bottling things like titles and getting into Europe altogether, but I won't mention no names. But seemingly bigger clubs, maybe better areas of living than Leicester offers. And when he kind of had a moment of realization, and he just went, no, I can't do it. I'm not doing it. Leicester gave me everything. I don't want to be a bench player. I'm committed to Leicester. I always thought deep down in my heart of heart, Jamie Vardy is going to be a player that retires at this football club. There's a slight possibility that because they won the playoff final, that he might go to Sheffield Wednesday because they're a boyhood club, and there's always that little thing in the back of your head that remembers, well, now they're in the same league as us, maybe he could drop there, but that might be if he doesn't get a contract extension from Leicester and he still thinks he can do it, he might go to Sheffield Wednesday. Let's face it, he's staying, isn't he? On that basis of what I've just said there, he's staying. And if he doesn't retire at the end of his contract, that's where he'll go afterwards. It's the only other club he'll ever play for. He's not going anywhere. It'll be down to Leicester if he fancies it in a year's time and still wants to play, and we still want him. Then yeah, unless we force him out the door, he's staying at Leicester.
Yeah, it's a weird one, this, because I think had we survived and stayed up, he may well have gone to Sheffield Wednesday and said, "I'll have a season in the Championship."
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, but again, I think that still would have been Leicester's. I know it would have been ultimately his choice in that sense,
Yeah.
but I still think Leicester would have been going, yeah, okay, you've served your time here, you've done everything you could have hoped to achieve. Sure, we'll let you go, no qualms, no business, and we may have even let him go for nothing or next to nothing because it's Vardy and it's a dream move for him in that sense. But I think that now only happens, Chris, if Leicester go, yeah, I know you've just helped, and I'm just talking hypothetical here, but yeah, I know we've just got back promoted to the Premiership, but sorry, we're not going to give you an extension on your contract.
He's got a year to go. We're not going to offer him. No disrespect to him. We're not. We don't. I don't want to see Vard. I mean, we know that this season has not been his best season that we've just had. But then again, you can say that about 99% of the team. I don't want to see him, in 2 years' time, coming on for 5 minutes and never touching the ball and what have you. I want to have memories of him. He is. I mean, forget his other half. What have you? The guy is a legend. Let's be honest with you. Had we stayed up, I think he'd have probably had a chat with the board and said, "Look, what am I in your plans, or whoever the new manager is?" Because obviously we need to know who the new manager is coming in, not the board, because the board can make him all sorts of promises. The manager comes in and says, "Nah, he's past it. I don't want him." So I think he would speak to the new manager when that's decided, and he would say, "Am I in your plans?" And now he might say, "Yeah, I want to build my team around you for this season. I want to stabilise the club, get us mid-table, and then we can obviously build on." But I think that if we'd stayed in the Premier League, I think they'd have probably said, "To be fair, Jamie, you're not going to be my number one. It's going to be either Inacho or Daka." And he might say, "Well, then I'd like to go and see, if Sheffield Wednesday are interested in me." And I think they say, "Yeah, go with our best wishes." We're in this
definitely
now. It will be, I think, James' decision. I think he could look at that and go, "Do you know what? I've only got a year left on my Leicester contract. I really want to play for Sheffield Wednesday before I retire." I think if Sheffield Wednesday come in for him, that's a decision that's going to be tough for him to make. But
yeah, of course, that is probably the only thing. But I think
when you got Daka, Inacho, and then you got Vard. I mean, Daka we said before was going to terrorise the defence. He's still got speed on him, and again, it might be that it's just for the last 30 minutes or whatever, or he's that super sub role. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. Let's keep him, shall we?
Yeah, because again, some of the smartness, the footballing brain he has, and his ability to touch the ball 3 times and score 2 goals. You do that against a Championship goalkeeper in defence. Boris he really could. He could still surprise and do that with his experience that he's gained over the years in the Premier League. You've seen the quality of the goals sometimes in the Championship they concede. No offence to the division, I know we're in it. I shouldn't be so disrespectful, but it is. When you're talking about the difference between the quality in the Championship and the Premiership, that's something that's normally talked about. You get 8 or 9 chances per game in any Championship game. Sometimes you won't get that in Premier League games. Very few and far between. So you're going to get more chances. 3 strikers there. Again, a department we don't really need to be concerning ourselves with 2 or 3 signings in areas because we've got youngsters as well that could come through. So yeah, give him that last year. If he doesn't want to go, if Sheffield Wednesday don't want him, and that would be the only club, like I'm with you, say that could take him from us, I reckon, for obvious reasons, he's going to be here. So why not?
Yeah, I agree. Right.
Skip. Skip. I know who's next. Skip.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
What? Bye. See you later. I don't know. Next, Chris. Next. Gone. Bye. See you later.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Good.
But do we sell him or do we just say, go? We'll pay
Fuck
you
off.
Go.
See you later.
Yeah.
I'll pay for his contract release myself. I'll have to go on some shows to pay it off, no doubt. But if Deal or No Deal's still hanging about in America, I'll take a trip out there and go on it there, and I'll pay for his release.
ITV. It's coming back to ITV, Deal.
Oh, brilliant! Get me on. Get me on. I'll win it. I'll use the $250,000 to pay him for leave myself.
Tell you what, you'll come out with a penny, knowing you.
It'd still be too much paying for him to leave.
Still, yeah, you still get change. Look,
you know what? If you said to me, Brad, I've got the worst case. This would be my nightmare scenario for me, and it's the only way this certain player would stay at the club. If you said to me, Brad, I'm sorry, but you've got to keep either Iose Perez and Jestergaard. Fuck off. See you later, you human lamppost. I'd rather keep Perez over him, and that's saying something. Perez has somebody below him in the pecking order, and it's his toss pot.
Yes. Look, he's not going to go anywhere. This is the problem with Vestergaard. He isn't going to go anywhere because he would have done by now. He's obviously on a very good wage, and he thinks I can get this wage here whether I play or I don't play. So that's why I think we just say, look, let's just
pay off his contract.
Yeah, pay him off, and let's free that space up.
Yeah.
Let me ask. I know what the answer is going to be, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Is he a player that might be better in the Championship for us if we keep him?
No. No. You know what he is? He is, Boris. He is. I'm sorry, he is. It's terrible. I wouldn't sign him if I was manager of Plymouth Argyle because it'd send them down. Next.
Yeah, no, agreed.
I won't even keep him to loan him because I wouldn't like to put that shame on another club having to send him back to us.
But again, like I say, I don't think he is a bad player. He's not a good player. He's not a bad player. He just wasn't the player for Leicester. And like Rob Tanner, when he interviewed Brendan, and said, like, why are you buying players like Vestergaard that, don't fit into your game plan? He said, no, he does fit into my game plan. He's never played him since then, The last one. So you thought Vardy was the last one. Mr. Ward.
This is going to prove controversial. And it's either going to cause controversy because Chris knows something that you guys will have to wait for tomorrow to find out when we do a certain show and I discuss certain points. The rating show, isn't it, tomorrow, I believe, Chris?
It is indeed, yeah.
Bear that in mind with what I'm about to tell you. We sell him. He deserves to be a number one at another club. And I still stand by what I say with Danny Ward. I think maybe one of the newly promoted sides. Maybe a club that's just about kept afloat and needs a new number one. A mid-tier Premier League club would get Danny Ward in, and he'd be a steady goalkeeper. He'd have you finishing 12th, somewhere like that. And I know people that hate Danny Ward, and again, I don't know if it's because Iverson's been here since he was young, and we see him more as a one of our own, even though he's not. I don't think Iverson was. We brought him in from somewhere. He's not, but people have.
Danish club,
yeah, so people have it in their heads that just because he played for us since he was under 21 and he was one of our own. Technically, he wasn't. We imported him in. So I don't know if that holds some hatred towards him. Yes, he made mistakes, but so did Iverson this season. And Ward actually wasn't as bad as what he was. At one point in this season, despite conceding 5 and 6 in a game, with the pathetic defence he had in front of him at that stage of the season, he was only second behind, I think it was Alisson at the time, for clean sheets. But I don't think he deserves after the mistreat he got and being dropped in the manner that he was. after having to shoulder the responsibility of replacing a certain Kasper Schmeichel, I don't think he should be a number 2. He deserves to be a number 1, and he's not going to get the number 1 shirt with Daniel Iverson. So for me, cash in on him, sell him. It's the best option for him and the club. You cannot have 2 number 1s at a club because it don't work. You're going to have a fallout. You're going to have somebody kicking up a stink saying, I deserve to be playing. I'm good enough for first team football. I don't like this manager. I want to go. And then we sell him anyway in January because he gets pissed off that he can't get back in the team as a number 1 choice. Because he's had that taste for it now, Chris, and he's going to think he's good enough to be a number 1. We made him wait patiently. We kind of, you know that ball on a string. We kept hearing he's going to get a couple more games to impress. He's going to keep pushing Kasper. He's going to maybe get more games than you think. And he never seemed to get them. And I would honestly, I'm with you. With that the Scrabble mixer, I'm going to call him because he's got more consonants. Him. Yeah. He gets the nod because that's your reasonable number 2. It's exactly like Iverson being a number 2. He's in his 20s, so he's got years. You've got Smithers as your 3rd choice, so you certainly ain't going to make him your 3rd choice, right? You cannot have 2 goalkeepers that are... He's a little bit older as well, isn't he, than Iverson by a few years? So if you're already getting muscled out by someone, and you're like 4 years his senior or whatever the difference is in their age, you ain't going to get that number 1 spot back. So for me, I would, for the best of him and the club, knock everybody up the order. Well, jump our reserve goalkeeper to our number 2 slot, move him on to a Crystal Palace or someone like that so he can go and be a number 1 there. And, yeah, we get the natural progression.
Now, I mean, I'm agreeing with you again. And I think it's very unfortunate. And Gray's not his biggest fan, should we put it that way, in the chat.
I know that. I've seen his comments about him enough to know that Gray would be happy that I'm selling him.
There's not, and it's opinions, and I respect his opinion. Sometimes it's better to be not the player. It's the same with managers as well. Not the player that replaces Kasper Schmeichel, but the one that replaces the player that replaces Kasper Schmeichel. It's the same with managers. Don't be the one that replaces Martin O'Neill. Be the one that replaces the replacement of Martin O'Neill. I think it's the same with players. And he came in. He when he signed for us, he knew he was going to be number 2 to Kasper. Nobody's going to knock Kasper off the number 1 slot. Danish number 1. I think we're in the Championship or we've just been promoted when he signed. But he was going to be number 2 to Kasper. Who knew that Kasper would never get bloody injured? Who knew that he's the only goalkeeper I know that probably hasn't had an injury. But he was there for the cup games. And, we loved him when he saved, it was a bit of a penalty king in the cup games, was Danny Ward.
It was. He was your Peggy Arfaxad to Casey Keller, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Peggy, of course, who went on to play for Liverpool. But look, to me, Danny Ward came from Liverpool.
And I think actually, ironically, he played his most games for Leicester City in his career. But he was he was my favourite number 2 for a goalkeeper.
You got to look at Peggy, haven't you? But look, Danny was, so he's come in as the number 2. He never got the chance to play, and when he was playing in the cups, he was always dropped when it got to the quarters or something because we brought Kasper in, and he never complained. You never saw him moan. He had 1 Premier League game before he was thrown in. Now, I am sorry if you were to put Peter Schmeichel in that defence at the start of the season. As I've said, if you put Gordon Banks, Peter Shilton and Kasper Schmeichel behind that back 4, we would not have won those games. You could not, when you have got Daniel Amartey as your left-sided centre-back, you are in the shit. And as whoever was in goal, and unfortunately, again, like I say with Leicester fans, when they hate somebody, my God, they hate on them. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm any different, hashtag Bellend. But here we go.
Bellend.
But yeah, so
you need to get a counter for it, mate. you need to get a bell end counter, and every time you play it, you have to change it and see how many you get per show.
Exactly. Remind me. Send me a message later. So, and I think it was very hard done too. And then Everson came in. Would Ward have done as well as Everson if he'd stayed in? We will never know. The chances are, look, Everson came in just as things changed and made a couple of good saves. But I do think for him, he deserves a move for him more than anything else.
Yeah.
So, but that's it. So let us go and have a look at what we've decided. Well, we're going to keep Dean Smith as manager.
Yeah.
Going to keep Albrighton, Chowdhury, Daka, Dewsbury Hall, Faze, Iheanacho, Iverson, Justin, Christensen, Smithies, Sumare, Souttar, Thomas, and Vardy. You want to keep Barnes. I want to cash in on him. We both want to re-sign Evans, if only for another season, just for that experience. We want to let go Amati. I can't believe this. Bertrand, Perez, and Vestergaard. You also want to let Mendy go, but I want to re-sign him. You want to cash in Castagna, and I agree with most of these. Castagna, Madison, Ndidi, Pratt. Well, Tete we can't cash in on, to be honest with you. I put him in the wrong column. Tete should have been in the let go column, shouldn't he? Because he's only on loan. Ward, we've just said. You want to cash in on Ricardo. I wanted to keep him. So we actually only, believe it or not, disagree on 4. That's not bad
out of, what was that, out of 30 players?
That is out of, hang on, including the manager. Talk amongst yourselves a minute. 6, 7, 8, 9,
7, 12, 15, 19.
14, fuck off. 14, 15, 16, 17, 23, 8 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of 30, we only disagreed on 4.
That's not bad. The 30-man squad not done too bad there.
No, we are spending too much time together. We'd never have done this 2 years ago.
No, we'd have had about 4 in common.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so guys, let's have a look and tell you what is going to be happening tomorrow night. Brad's back again. It's like a fart in a lift. Every time you open the doors, you can still smell him. But no, we're going to be rating the players. We're going to be having a look at what Jordan says from the Leicestershire Live and comparing it to what Brad says. And believe you me, there's not a lot of agreement there. And if you didn't see it earlier, do check out the latest video in the Life's a Pitch series. The lunatics have taken over the asylum. We do need to have an inquest into what happened last season, but should it be Susan Whelan and John Rudkin who is doing that? I don't think it should be. That's why I've said lunatics taking over the asylum. Brad, if you can stay on for 2 seconds and have a quick chat with you at the end, if that is okay.
Yeah, so that's fine, sir.
So thank you so
much. Hey, guys, he's finally going to pay me a wage.
Yes, I am, but it's going to be in Haribo.
That's better. I'll take that.
I know you take that. Brad, at Full-Time Focus, don't forget, ladies and gentlefolk, as well, registration is now open. That sounds posh, doesn't it? For the Prediction League. There we go. Let me just get rid of that banner at the bottom there. The 2023-24 Prediction League. It's going to be bigger because we're going to have more games. And it is being sponsored once again very, very kindly by Mr. Steve Lynex and foxy7clothing.co.uk. Check them out. And the overall winner of the Prediction League, which should still be on Fridays at 8 o'clock, because obviously all our shows are now at 8 o'clock. The overall winner will receive a bundle, a Foxy 7 clothing bundle, including a cap, a beanie, a t-shirt, a sweat top, and a hoodie. Very, very generous of him indeed. And all that we ask, if you want to join, is there we go. Look at that. Bring it up in total. Follow Brad on Twitter at Fulltime Focus, as it says, as it is spelt there, all one word, at Fulltime Focus on Twitter. That's Brad's. Accept Brad's follow back. Excuse me. We will need your predictions, obviously, once the season starts, by Thursday at 9 o'clock. And you will need to have your predictions in for that weekend, and also, if there's a midweek game, which there will be a lot of, the following week as well. So you need to do both and do them separately. Any predictions not in on time will not be included. Brad's not here to chase you all up. He's got better things to do, so he tells me. So if you haven't got them in by 9 o'clock on Thursday, you basically just won't get any points that week. Do all the predictions set out with the two clubs with the score in the middle, as you can see there, which will help Brad. Just put in like 2-1-1-1 because you've seen it the way it's listed on Sky. If Brad's using BBC, it could be in a different order. Correct score is 3 points. Correct outcome is 1 point. Entry is now open. There'll be weekly updates and league table on the Friday prediction show. And the closing date for entries at the moment is the 11th of June. So we're not going to go mad. It wouldn't be fair on Brad if we had something like 70 people in there. So we are limiting it. But do get in. And you are taking registrations now, aren't you, Brad?
Yeah, I've already got a few names down. If there's anyone that does want to be a part and you already know me on Twitter, do remember, like Doug did, because he's involved in it, message me, even if I know you and we follow each other, just send me a message so I know you want to be, message me, just so I know you want to be in it, because depending on the numbers, I might put it all in a group chat, and if I can't find you all or I don't know you're in and you've only said on here that you want to be in, I won't know and I won't remember. And if you want incentive, all I'm saying is, LCFC great, that's great. Follow me on, do exactly what Chris said. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back and just send me a message saying, put me in a Prediction League, Bragg, so I know that you're not just following me because you really like me, you want to be in a league. And if you want extra incentive, there's no prizes from me, but you maybe get a chance to be the first person to say, I was there when I beat Brad in his own Predictions League, because I am, Chris, am I not, the two-time champion? I'm going for the Chicago Bulls three-peat of the predictions world, so who's going to stop me? It could be you.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
You might kill me, but you won't catch me in the league.
But it will, you know what will be funny, mate? If you do win it for a third year, you ain't getting the prizes because you're not allowed to enter.
I know. I'll have to have again rock, paper, scissors for second place.
So you could come second or even third, or no, you won't be fourth because Steve won't be in the top three. But you could come second or third and still win it. Yes, Brad has won, but look, let's be honest, Brad. There's only three of us in that prediction league. Now, if you're talking prediction league, let's talk the X-Fox prediction league, which also has you, me, and Craig in. I'm going to say, who came top?
I don't know, it's so difficult not to look smug at this point.
Yes, I did.
You did. Congratulations, mate. Although I will say I have to predict 10 to 20 games a week. You only have to get one right, and it's been fairly weird for us this season to do that.
Leicester, come on.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to say, excuse me, Jerry Taggart, bless him, he's been top for about 10 weeks, 11 weeks, and he went for a 1-1 draw against West Ham. And I actually went 2-1 and went, bing, thank you, I'll take that.
Paul Jerry Taggart doing his own Arsenal.
He definitely. I wonder what you were going to say then. Bloody hell, doing his own Arsenal, indeed. And that's not a euphemism for anything. But guys, next season, as well as the Foxes that we've already got in, we're getting Paul Reed. You may remember a Plex player for us. Richard Smith, who is currently also works for Bash Skip Hire, but he also works at the stadium on Saturdays. Julian Watts, good friend of the show. But the two main, well, not being unfair, but we're also getting Pontus Demark. You may remember, if he can get rid of Janino out of his back pocket, he will be joining us. And Julian Joachim as well are all going to be taking part. So looking forward to that next season. Tags is a leg end, but yeah, look, he might be a leg end, but he ended up actually coming fourth. He didn't even get on the podium the last week. So Brad, mate. Oh, and I was going to say, somebody was asking, Nate, what did you not see? Did you not see the relaunch video? Is not going to be coming up anymore. This is going to be called, and I'm going to actually have a word with Brad afterwards about this, but it's going to be Leicester Till I Die, the quiz channel. All the quizzes are going to, well, bar one, which is the Big Fat Leicester quiz, all the quizzes are going to be on Brad's channel. And once he gets his finger out and gives me permission to get in and update it, it will all be renamed and everything as well. So there will be shows on Top 10 Battles, but it will be being called Leicester Till I Die, the quiz channel.
Same channel, different, same channel. So if you're already subscribed, thank you very much. Go and support it, because there is something else going on that channel that me and Chris have already talked about and putting into works as well. So it might not just be quizzes there, will it, Chris? Well, we'll let them know later on. Yes. If we do decide or not. But yeah, if you love your football, Leicester quizzes, that's where you want to be, because I'll be your host on the night.
The host with the most.
Well, except for the answers.
Yeah. I'm just waiting. I want to take part in the top 10 offside battle. But Brad,
fuck off.
Take care, mate. Thank you very much. Speak to you in a second.
Yeah, speak to you in a second, mate. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye. Oh, dear. Thanks to Brad. Yeah, so top 10 battles, but it won't be top 10 battles that are there. It will be... We've got a load of quizzes coming up. If you go... And again, it's on LTID TV on YouTube. Do go over check that out. It's under the pick, which is all the latest shows. And it will show all the different quizzes that we are going to be doing, which I haven't got a list of here, because I wasn't expecting to be asked. Let me just see what we've got here. Have I got it here? No, I haven't got it. So we've got to... but there's going to be the Price is Right, Nations League. There's going to be there's going to be about 4 or 5 different million point drop as well. It's going to be one of them. Some good quizzes. So a little bit different. So get over there and subscribe. LTID TV 2, as it will be called. Thanks very much. Just said, did I not just say it's not going to be top 10 battles, mate? But F1 will still, F1 will be back now the football season's got out of the way. We obviously had one that was cancelled because of the disastrous flooding in Italy, so that one didn't go ahead. But it will be back now that the football season's over. I mean, at the moment, I don't know if there's a F1 this weekend. If there is, I won't be doing it, I don't think, because I'm doing a show virtually every night on that. Boris, tweet me with his contact details. I have no idea who he is. So, look, thank you very much, everybody. Thanks to Brad for being with me. He'll be with me again tomorrow night. He's moving in with me soon, I'm sure. Thank you to all our guests. Way too many to mention, but really do appreciate you coming in. If you've been listening on podcast, thank you very much for lending me your ears. Don't forget to subscribe, click that like button, and also press that notification bell. And don't forget, for just $1.99, button underneath where you can join, or if you go to the description on YouTube, there's a link in there as well for you can click on to join. I will see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Thank you to say to everybody that's been in the chat. Thank you to all our current members as well. Really do appreciate your support. Thanks to Doug for the money. That helps the channel run. And we will see you tomorrow night. This has been LTID TV. I've been Chris. And this is Arnie. Good night now.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans. That will conclude this evening's entertainment.